You know, John, I've lived a long life. I've seen this land when it was just wilderness and scrub. I've seen missionaries nailed to crosses by shaman and burn into just the cinders of their misguided devotion. I've seen slaves get set free and return to a bondage even more confusing than the one they left behind. I've seen diseases wipe out entire communities in a weekend. I've seen bad men make their own Valhalla out in the bush, with harems of maidens and the hunting of men as a sport. I've seen men struggle with principles and morals and the very meaning of existence. I've killed all that can be killed. But I've never, in all my natural-born days, seen anything quite like this.
Welcome to the world, everybody. We're starting super late, and I'm hoping everybody isn't in completely hours.
God, it's 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Well,
there will be no pizza left by the time we're finished.
That's not true. Hold on. I'm Christopher
In the world.
I'm Brett Elston.
I'm Michael Raparas.
And I'm Henry Gilbert, back again.
Woo! Fan favorite, Henry Gilbert.
Yep, they love me.
Henry Gilbert, did you say you were coming back on this week just to get back at somebody who said
I don't want to make that guy. I don't want to even give that guy.
I don't know the guy. I don't know who the guy is. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But what? You want to make him feel the pain?
I think just because one person says they find me annoying and hate me, I don't think that means everybody.
Plus, you reviewed Dead Space 2 this week, so
yeah, so I kind of have to be on.
You're qualified.
I don't want you guys just repeating my review. I want to be.
What else is coming up in this podcast, Chris?
Top 7, we're going to be giving away, I think, can we give away some Mario shirts?
We have Mario Sports Mix t-shirts.
Oh, man, you had to go and be specific about it.
I thought you had stolen shirts from me and giving them away.
No. And we have 2 codes for a new game that you'll hear about in the new releases.
Oh.
Excuse me. Did I say codes? I didn't mean codes. We have 2 games to give away, and you'll find that out in the new releases.
I see.
I don't want to give away the platform. Anyway, top 7. There's a top 7 this week.
Like every week.
There's a good community segment, but we also wanted to start a little late because when we record, there's a very good chance we might have an announcement at the end related to Sony?
Well, by the time this podcast
it's breaking news from 2 days ago.
By the time this podcast goes up,
I am well aware of that, sir.
Yes,
but if we want to start jumping on and being you'll just be reiterating statements the rest of the internet has already said. I want to react to it fresh. It was Henry's idea. I like it.
No, we will react to Sony's having a press conference in Japan and allegedly announcing a PSP 2. So we're going to try to react to it when we find out what it is.
See.
It was my idea, and yet I'm also unhappy I'm here so late. So I think really I only had the idea
you really were fucking kicking me in the balls. When are we doing this? When are we doing this?
I'm sorry.
Anyway, top 7. What was top 7 this week?
Lame excuses, the things that games have been blamed on.
Most insane things video games have been blamed on.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
Oh, and I should tease.
Let me say without anyone talking over it. Top 7 most insane things video games have been blamed for.
Which really should be for which video games have been.
That's probably true.
Yeah,
that's true. Anybody else want me to talk over them?
Yes.
Okay.
I
could.
Well, wait a second.
Second. Now we're annoying people. We also have 2.
Now you're annoying people.
We have 2 new celebrity promos this week. God damn it! I don't have to. They'll speak for themselves.
2 new celebrity promos. Man. Yeah.
No, I know. I was there. We were there on the sidewalk, and you recorded one of them.
Yes.
You should have a sound effect teaser for one of them.
Let's see about that.
Shut up.
Oh, that was sort of the vibe he was giving me.
Yeah, it was.
I think there were more annoying people asking for his time there.
All right. So the top 7 this week.
Number 7 in the top 7 insane things games have been blamed for.
Yes.
Number 7
is a Wii Fit Sex Maniac, where Manchester catering worker lady fell off her balance board and said it turned her into a sex maniac.
Yes.
That seems believable.
I don't understand.
Falls do that to people all the time.
There's a ball on her clitoris or something?
There's a believable aspect to it. Because the doctor said she fell and she severed a nerve.
So it's only 2 inches tall.
Exactly. Yeah. If you fell off that odds are you have fallen off a stair or a curb.
That's like the width, the depth of your shoes.
Exactly.
It's like I fell out of my shoes, and now I'm
was
addicted.
demanding so much.
Well, I see.
No,
I
it's
fell off my bathroom scale
If
and
she
it turned
was-
me into a sex maniac.
If she was doing like We Fit yoga, like putting her legs in some sort of position, like I could see maybe that would facilitate a fall on your vagina. I
maybe,
guess.
but if somebody sued a
Yes.
yoga instructor for such a thing, it would be so much harder to have yoga classes. If you fall, if you're so fucking unfit that you collapse on this completely non-demanding experience, it's your fault. It's absolutely your fault, but I do want to meet her. See, her name is Amanda Flowers. I couldn't find a picture of her. It's very weird. I Google imaged her, and then it's like
She
all like
sure
We
is.
Fit girls in their underwears. And
She needs Amanda D-Flower.
here's a
Oh,
quote.
yeah.
Well,
I think that's
Elton.
the opposite of her problem.
I
It's
know.
a little early in the podcast for that kind of gold. We can make people wait. Make people. This is her quote with no cure. She's British.
Yeah.
With no cure, I
And she's a queen.
She's Terry Gilliam as the queen. Or Terry Jones.
blind. With no cure, I just have to try to control my passion by breathing deeply. Hopefully, one day I'll find a superstar who can satisfy me.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
That
Like,
sounds like a British tabloid quote,
It
unquote,
does.
quote.
Well, it's because it came from the Daily Star.
Quote in air quotes.
yeah, she probably said it like offhandedly, didn't know. But if you're in the middle of a lawsuit, like.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it's not the
maybe I'd
best thing
settle
to
if
say.
somebody would fuck me properly. Maybe.
She says she has to do it 10 times a day to be satisfied.
Number 6.
Number 6 in the insane things game's been blamed for. Australian idiot, that's racist, blames games for knife crime.
Knife. Not the knife.
That was
Australian
that
youth-
led to a funny image.
It did?
Yeah.
Australian
We'll talk about that in a second. Hank, 'cause I
Australian
have to
youth
load it.
worker, less 20 man,
That is not a real name.
Nice 20, man.
That is not a real name.
is blaming homeless child.
That's a lyric in a Harry Belafonte song.
Yes. Oh,
Blaming what?
Stop it. Brett didn't get the reference. Let him go.
Knives are sharp.
Knives are sharp.
I don't know. I haven't clicked through to read the story, so I don't know what happened here.
Oh,
Basically, he's-
there was a knife. There was a knife
There was
crime
an
on a
increase
school
in
grounds.
knife crimes.
one of you, not both of you.
It wasn't even an increase in knife crimes. It was like one happened and they could increase. And he sees like I'm seeing more of these than I ever had before. Like,
Out by my babby.
what's a bloke to do? I
And
don't
it's-
know.
And it's because those video games the homeless
The
children are
damn
playing.
video games. You know,
that-
all those games you play with knives. All those games that glorify knives.
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
All those Calls of Duties and Kill Zones and
and Knife Factor.
All I'd ask.
Grand Auto Thieves.
It's very easy. It's very easy to come at these news stories. Like I would want to ask, please be more specific. What game are you talking about? Was he in a white hood and speaking in a faux Italian accent? That would make sense. That would make too much sense.
I would feel like people would injure themselves way more with those hidden blades than they would injure other people.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, especially
They would
doing
really-
parkour with them.
You
How'd
would
you
lose all your fingers.
How did you cut off both of your hands?
You
Well,
probably routinely impale your own palms.
I was trying to spring load these daggers into my forearms, and they went off and severed every fucking hands are brought. Man, shit, can't even.
Is this still Ezio? The southern accent is confusing me.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Ezio ever. This is this guy that lives next to me.
No, this is Assassin's Creed 3. It's a sneak preview. It's going to
Oh,
be set
shit.
in Alabama.
Branson, that's all I'm saying.
Just these Alabama Creed.
Yeah.
Somebody's cousin.
Branson, that's all I want.
Branson. GTA and Assassin's Creed both set in Branson at the same time. Characters overlap.
No, they use the what's it called? The Deimos, Phobos.
Excuse me?
What's it called? Assassin's Creed, the thing they used to go back in time.
Oh, the Animus.
The Animus.
The Animus.
They use that to go back in time and relive the memories of one of Desmond's ancestors, who was the guy starring in Grand Theft Auto Branson.
It would only be Desmond's like dad because the game takes place in 2011.
Could be his
There was
dad.
the first one.
Supposedly.
Okay, all right.
Well,
when Highway
yeah.
7,
Cast some doubts there.
it could be his dad when Highway 76 was first getting built. Huh?
Yeah.
Presley Theater goes
You
on.
actually play as the city of Branson.
Okay, I'm
It
on.
comes to life.
Well, you
and
know,
stomps
actually,
things.
Desmond's family grew up in a secret enclave that they live
So,
outside
come
of
on.
society.
So-
all right.
So,
Anyway.
have they not been to Andy Williams River Theater, Moon River Theater?
They maybe took a vacation. I don't
All
know.
right.
But I feel like the Templars probably have a real strong hand in Andy Williams.
Sure.
He's still not dead.
No, not at all. Very much alive.
Ray Stevens had a permanent display, a permanent like residence to do shows every night.
Isn't Yakov Smirnoff there as well?
Yakov's been there. I haven't been in 10 years, but he was there the 10 years I went prior to. Like, I went every year for like 8 years with my parents.
This is all too appropriate because this is the first controversy with Australians and knives. The first time they've ever been intertwined anyway.
Totally. Yep.
And he included a picture that Henry said was funny.
Yep.
And
funny.
I got a clip from that very moment.
You call that a knife? This is a knife.
That's not a knife, that's a spoon.
All right, you win. I see you played Knifey Spoony before.
In summation, Knifey Spoony, number 5, wasn't as funny as I had originally thought.
No, that was good. I expected it to be Crocodile Dundee.
No, it was good. Simpsons.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody else gets
Yellow
credit.
people are funny.
Let's all hug Chris.
I can't believe you just
telling
said
me
that.
so funny.
Are you crazy?
I can't either.
Say it again.
Holy shit, no.
It's already been said once.
I didn't mean it like that.
TalkRadar quotes has got you.
Oh, God.
Now it's your turn.
Number 5, I should warn you that the AC is just off. And
We are
off
dying.
it shall be. Holy
Wow.
shit.
We are burning up.
Yeah.
Wow. Number 5 is England goalie blames gaming for poor performance.
This is ridiculous, and I wish I had a Brit here in the office to help me decipher what the fuck he's talking about.
Like-
The England
Croatia lost 3-2.
didn't qualify for some fucking no, it's not the World Cup or something
Or
important.
the Commonwealth Games, perhaps.
The UFEA, it doesn't matter. There's but he said he was the goalkeeper blaming video games for his poor performance of his own team. I think we would have the best
Shouldn't
team.
he have an accent?
I think we would have the best team if we were.
So now he's Australian.
No, all right. I'm going to have to do Michael Caine. I don't know if I can do it.
I think we'd have the best team.
I think we would have the best team if we could go into every household and throw away the PlayStations and Xboxes masturbate.
Some people just want to watch a world match.
We have the players and the best league in the world. The way the game is played here is so different. Watching the Premier League in the Formula One, watching the Premier League is like Formula One. It's that quick. And then you go to the international game, and it's like a game of chess.
But,
What are
he
you
completely
saying?
loses his reason. He just says, kids should throw away their PlayStations and 360. We're exciting.
Kids should go back to playing soccer in the street like they used to do before there were interesting things to do.
What I tried to decipher here is I think what he was saying is that when you're playing, the Premier League is the English team. When they're playing there, they're going really fast and fucked up. When you start playing Brazil, he mentions Brazils. When you start playing Brazilians and all these other countries that are very serious but shoot people who do poorly in games, there's a little bit of strategy because everybody's in the same level of expertise.
I see.
And it requires, and because of video games, everybody just wants to run at the goal and shoot.
Oh, I see. I thought
But he also, because he had that clarification, we have the best players in the league, which means he was leading toward a statement that would be offensive to his players.
Yeah, so I thought he mainly just meant
He's shitting on his team.
If the kids were watching us and supporting us, we'd feel more confident, maybe.
That was another issue I took with the Australian guy with the knife crime. You ever get beat up in elementary school? You ever been
shoved?
You ever been punched by an elementary schooler?
Yeah.
Yes.
Never fucking hurts.
Yeah.
When did that become? I'm not saying it should, but what if we didn't? I didn't know it's humiliating to get beat up, but and that traumatizes you. It does.
Yes.
Getting hit like that has traumatized me, but that's because we consider it the worst thing in the world to be beat up. If it wasn't horrible to be punched by somebody, maybe people wouldn't bring knives to defend themselves because this is going to humiliate me forever, and they know that, so they're ready to stab their fellow man. I got in a situation with my friend had hit on another one of my friend's girlfriend, and it's they'd both come to terms with it, and but they could still never hang out. And I'm like, look, you guys just have to hit one another. There's no way to get over this. Some quarrels need a hitting, and it won't hurt that much. It'll be embarrassing. So to take the embarrassment out of it, we go behind closed doors. Fighting elementary schoolers is where I'm getting at.
Is this a scene from Fight Club?
No, not Fight Club. It's definitely a real fight. You can pull hair. I don't care if you punch somebody in the bitch tits. But we get elementary schoolers in a room, so they're not using knives. Then you can control
the
fight.
Roll around.
They can roll around, but you think how tired you would get at that?
That sounds like
nobody's watching you.
That sounds like the Spartans, man.
The Spartans? I did just throw a baby over a cliff because he was not worthy.
He was autistic and weird.
He was.
And then at the end of the movie, it turns out that if you are evil, if you are autistic and aren't killed by the Spartans.
All right.
That's true.
I fucking hate that movie.
Yes.
Number
That movie,
4.
that movie has ruined a lot of other movies in the process.
God, everything. Yeah, every movie now has to be like, and fast action, and slow motion, fast, slow.
Like, what's that Gladiator show that they've been advertising?
Spartacus.
Yeah, they're doing that same the jump with the spear.
Yeah.
Watching him walk through the seasons in the first episode, I just thought was fucking hysterical.
But you didn't get to watch Xena Warrior Princess have lesbian sex in it, right?
I could do that in 2 seconds, and I'm not even hooked up to the internet, but I'll find a way, and I could definitely do that. We can do number 4 now, I guess. Number 4.
Falling Shrek sales?
Falling Shrek sales. This was asinine.
What?
It was Jeffrey Katzenberg, wasn't it, of
Yep.
DreamWorks?
Yeah. Blamed video games for the poor sales of Shrek 3 DVDs.
Kids with their video games don't want to go see Shrek
Like,
3 anymore.
I think it wouldn't be unreasonable to blame like the Shrek games for
Yeah.
the poor
Which he
sales.
didn't
But, I mean,
specifically.
that movie was fucking horrible in
Yeah,
its own right.
Michael has defended like a Shrek 1 or 2 before. To me,
Shrek 1 and 2 I liked a lot. Shrek 3 was fucking unwatchable.
something about the whole phenomenon really bugs me. And part of that is the games.
It's the over-reliance on pop culture, and what really bugged me about 3 was that they kept breaking for these musical numbers that are just really like lame renditions of popular songs that go on for about 10 seconds.
I'm bringing sexy back. And there's timeless stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I actually haven't even seen Shrek 2. It was when I liked Shrek 1 the first time I saw it in theaters, and then when I watched it on DVD with a friend who hadn't seen it before, I was like, man, this is just so full of pop culture stuff, and it's also just kind of a mean movie. Like, it's not a good kids one. Like, underneath all, it's just mean and full of swears and dirty bird talk.
Dirty bird talk. Hold on. We're going to have to edit that out.
Remember Misery?
Yes. Yes. Kathy Bates. You are the office's Kathy Bates, Henry. Would you please hobble my legs?
So they're complaining, this guy's complaining that people didn't go see Shrek 3 in droves because of games.
Well, they didn't buy the DVD.
They
didn't buy the DVD.
after seeing it in theaters.
This
speaks for itself.
This is after the movie was critically panned and the attendance wasn't very well. It didn't sell on DVD.
I've seen 1, 2, and 4.
I wanted to I wanted to make a play of I'm the town mayor and I'm having a hootenanny, but nobody shows up because it's warm outside and everybody's at the watering hole. Like, what the fuck sense does that make, blaming swimming for the lack of attendance? Your dance probably sucked. Otherwise, people would have gotten out of the water. Fucking ass. Oh, yeah, I didn't have time to do that, and that wasn't interesting. Fine, but so in the meantime, I got a clip of Shrek for no reason.
And while you're there, why don't you try one of her bras on you, wee girl? Float away, you fairy!
That was Shrek. That'd be funny, 6 people.
Man. You know, man, you read the same Chris Farley book as me. Wouldn't it have been cool if he'd have been Shrek and not Mike Myers just making $20 million for nothing?
That footage exists, and it's a completely different movie. Chris Farley, the original voice of Shrek, and then
he was so perfect. He's
very perfect for it.
Yeah, and they recorded hours of stuff. With him.
I don't think him being the voice would have changed the tone of the movie.
Yes.
It still would have been.
No, the movie is completely different. Well, because Chris Farley was way more of a pitiable figure. If you think
not doing an Irish accent.
Well, I know, but I don't think that would have
rewrote the movie after he was no longer cast.
I still think it would have ended up being the DreamWorks would have driven it to be a pop culture full of.
You got to read. If you read that book, they talk, the DreamWorks guys talk about where the movie was going. They rewrote the movie after he died.
It would have had a lot more soul,
because there's nothing really pitiable. But he's a guy who yells the exposition at you, and then you watch Eddie Murphy do something. Shrek is pretty inconsequential to Shrek. What was it? Number 4? Number 3. Sorry,
The heat's getting to us.
I know, it's fucking hot. We got to get through this.
We're in a hot box, just like Alec Guinness and Bridge on the River Kwai.
Oh, yes. I'm just going to stumble out
or
there.
that Batman episode where he lost his memory and was being tortured, had to work for the. You remember that one, right?
Simultaneously grabbed me and my audience.
The animated series.
Yeah, I remember. Number 3, girl.
What are you so fucking?
It's fucking hot in here.
All right.
I don't want to keep getting sidetracked about very tangential references.
Well, that's what we should do. We should speed up the podcast. 15 minutes. Number 3.
Girl kicks dog, triggers karma, blames Nintendo.
That's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, man, the poor girl. Did you see the picture of her after having her face bit?
Yeah, she's really fucking ugly.
Yep, she sure is. No, but it turns out she was playing Nintendogs at the same time, which Could the barking from Nintendogs tricked a dog into attacking her? That's just crazy.
So what if a dog's walking by the house and barks? Then it's time. The dog attacked. It wasn't its fault.
She was watching. She was watching Lassie. She got mauled by the dog while watching Lassie.
Dog thought it was a real dog in the magic box.
The grandmother kicked her, and the other dog attacked. According to the article, the grandmother kicked the dog, and there was another dog there that also tried to fend off the other dog. So, that Siegfried and Roy thing, the tiger attacked him. The tiger was trying to protect him. He saw him slip and grabbed him by the throat to pick him up like it was his cub.
I never knew that.
Yeah, so he picked him up by the neck to take him away from harm. But ended up biting through his throat.
I just imagine he got ripped apart like on the Simpsons episode.
Yeah, but the dog dragged the girl off the couch by her foot, and then all of a sudden people start kicking and punching it. Because she thought she was in danger. But either way, I fucking hate growing up in Florida. Maybe you can agree with me. Just white trash dogs, you buying mutant monster dogs. I'm so surprised he bit my child. What are you fucking nuts?
I mean, when I grew up, everyone, I didn't have a block. I was just a street that went off in a direction and it winded around, and there were some houses attached to it.
Yes.
But everyone on our street had dogs except for us. We had cats. And everyone's dog, there were no leashes, no chains, no fences. It was just dogs everywhere. And it's just, I'd walk out into my front yard, and dogs from 3 houses, just running across, can't wait to come yell at you. Yeah. And then it's I try to ride my bike, and they're biting at my heels, and I kicked them in the face. Picked another one up and shook the shit out of it. It was great.
Where I come from, it's either no restraint or there's the family that always keeps the dog tied up in the front yard in the same place. Yeah. I never seem to pay any attention to it or let it in.
I told the story about my dad smoking pot while I'll never smoke pot again. I had a fear of dogs barking. Michael, can you see this? There's a scar on my upper lip that just goes straight down.
Okay.
Can you see it?
Not really. You don't have to.
I think I can.
The listeners can't see it.
It's on the left side.
Just prove that it's there.
I see it. I see
it.
That's a dog ripped my fucking face open.
The same thing happened to me as a kid. Yeah. But what's your story?
Wait, when I was a kid, I was a dog that ripped open somebody's face.
Oh, man! What the fuck? Jesus.
Oh, man, I wanted to grow up to be you.
How is this friendship going to work now? But you tore open my face. Man.
Well, you put it in front of my mouth.
I did not. My dad's story is just he told it to me as the last time he smoked pot. I thought I cut myself shaving, and I just seen the scar there forever. And Harrison Ford has a very similar scar. I'm like, yeah, this is cool. Who cares? And he said the last time I smoked pot, you were 2, and we were at a party, and you were walking towards this dog, and I meant to say, don't walk towards that dog. And the dog looked angry, and I meant to move the dog away, but I didn't because I was high. And I just watched it happen, and I just can't imagine my fucking face being ripped open at a party in 1980. God, I wish there were fucking cell phone cameras just to see. Ow! 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 And then I just made a sound of kicking a dog because I'm a dork. Yeah.
Well, when I was a kid,
that's from a Disney cartoon.
Shut up, man!
Is that Pluto?
Stop! No, you'll never get it.
When I was a lad, we had a 10-year-old beagle they adopted when I was 2, and I was a baby. I didn't know any better, and so I annoyed the dog to the point where it bit me right on the eyebrow, right on my upper right eyebrow, But since I was a little kid, I grew out of the scar really fast. I don't really have it anymore. But
I also admire how long you grew out your eyebrows just to cover that up.
My eyebrows are not.
No, they're extremely long.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm kidding because if I comb my eyebrows up, Jesus Christ.
Number 2.
No, also, my mom got drunk when I was 2, and I fell down the stairs as a baby. That was her own.
You fell?
Yeah.
That is such an
your mom got so drunk that you fell over?
No, I was again I was 2. She was drunk and she didn't notice that I had gotten out of the room I was in.
We say Henry's mom is also his twin.
Okay.
All right.
We have a connection.
Let's move on.
All right. Number 2.
Ron Jeremy accuses games of corrupting impressionable minds.
What a dumbass.
That's dumb.
Jeremy.
And then below that, the picture of Ron Jeremy dressed up as Mario.
Yes.
From Super Hornio Brothers.
Super Hornio Brothers, which we can't find still currently, right?
I know Something Awful found it.
They found it, but there's like not a copy online. They just did a little article. They did an article on it.
Yeah.
But no one's put it online yet. Like, it's one of the hardest movies to see, period.
Yeah, it's funny to me
considering
about
what else is on the internet. That's kind of strange.
It is strange.
Yeah. What's funny to me about Ron Jeremy is that, like, he's the most popular straight male porn star, and it's because he's a hideous troll.
Because I look better than he does.
Yeah, and not everybody does, but he also has, like, a big dick. Like, that's his thing. So straight dudes can say, they can appreciate his penis, but they can also say, like, this guy is not attractive in any way, so I'm not gay.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody actually likes watching him fuck anymore. He's kind of just doing
just a joke
comedy stuff. Yeah,
yes.
He just shows up and he's comic relief in porn films that have plots.
Do I have to say this? He really does have a beautiful cock, though.
That's fine.
Sat back and looked at it.
I guess.
I've actually never looked at it. I've seen it blurred out.
I think he's especially popular because of the movie Porn Star: The Legend of Ron Jeremy.
Yeah, that's true.
I haven't seen. The only detail I remember somebody telling me about is that he apparently doesn't believe in luggage. That he just puts all his shit in garbage bags and takes them to the airport.
What?
I don't know why, but I can totally see Ron Jeremy in an airport with holding garbage bags.
You know, even if he doesn't believe in luggage, it's still there.
Speaking
he can't
of
be a luggage atheist.
Also used to be a kindergarten teacher.
Speaking of,
so he knows a thing or two about corrupting kids.
What's that, Hank?
Speaking of large penises, did you know
Thank
that
you.
the world's
My segue?
Did you know that the world's largest penis belongs to a games journalist?
I do.
Yes.
Is
We're
it
Twitter
one
friends.
of us in here? No.
I mean, yes.
So basically what happened was at CES, and
It seriously does belong to a dude who's a games journalist.
Yeah, we know.
I'm telling the readers.
All right.
they don't read a podcast, they listen.
Yeah.
You listen to
Jesus Christ. Stop it.
Yeah, it was at CES, and some anti-porn lady came up, porn, and then Ron Jeremy flipped it and said, no, what's really bad is them damn video games.
He did try and deflect some of that energy into the wrong area, especially in the wrong venue.
Yeah.
No, it's that booth over there that's
the
causing
reason
all
we're
the
all
violence.
It's the reason we're all gathered here today.
Yeah.
I know, it's so silly. It's like he just threw another misunderstood thing under the bus. It'd be like saying, like, you shouldn't be mad at black people. It's those Chinese you should be mad at.
And if the Chinese had rented a booth right behind you when you did that, and all the Chinese fans were there, like, what?
And then you'd be tugging at your collar like Charles Nelson Riley.
And then to say that they target children and then star in fairy tale fights, the game and the commercials, and then dress like Mario, which at the time was what, like the late 80s, early 90s?
Late 90s.
Like you would just assume every Mario fan was a child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You were trying to take advantage of children.
I know.
Number one, I found Antonio Banderas, but I forgot it.
Again?
Yeah.
What a sad story.
Pedophilia.
Boy.
Just in I guess the concept
Man,
of,
you said it like it's a bad thing.
the concept of pedophilia took issue with games.
Well, it's a guy who had kiddie porn, who blamed games and comic books and computers.
Yeah,
Michael Cherry attempted to blame comics and games for his crimes.
He's basically saying, I'm a creepy introvert and I couldn't help it, and it's the fault of comics and video games.
What do they do say, like, pedophilia is the result of, I don't know, whatever I'm eating. Of whatever,
Wait, what?
infantile behavior of, like, if you disappear into anything like that, infantile behavior, you can only mentally register romantically with a child. So this guy's saying, like, I retreated into games and comics. Like, you didn't grow up ever, and you didn't meet a girl your own age. So the only person you can emotionally connect with is a child, and that's fucking sad. There's a good reason to go out and to talk to people. Why it's good for you if you don't want to end up fucking kids like Fred Elster.
Wait.
I just wanted to get you back in the conversation,
No, wait,
honey.
that I'm fucking, or fuck kids
Well, they can't fuck the kids you're fucking. That is off limits. You are not a true fan if
or
you do
fuck
that.
kids like me, implying that I'm a kid.
I don't know.
This is important to
You were
say.
a sexy
Well, you
kid.
are a Toys R Us kid forever.
It's true.
Not for 5 years.
It's true.
Boing, that was me bouncing the California. That was me jumping off a 5C into the bike.
That was Brett in his moon shoes.
They never had moon shoes. I looked every fucking week.
I had them.
The author in this one didn't actually have any funny images to go with pedophilia, so I embedded the YouTube video.
We will come into the next break with that.
Oh, the sex offender shuffle.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
really
it.
good.
Classic.
So much.
It's really good. And I'm glad we didn't get all pissy about this. We did it before when somebody blamed the DS's online infrastructure as like a pedophile playground.
Yeah. And I wanted to compliment the author. He actually had a really funny line. It was, pro tip, if your criminal defense begins with, yes, I had kiddie porn, but then you should give up.
Yeah, give up. It's not... The news handled this one almost okay because they're like, what a fucking idiot. They went away from their objective, non-biased. Like, no, you're an idiot. We're not going to go searching through games. We'll have more of idiot media later in the podcast.
Oh, good.
But this is a good pedophile news story that I wanted to play for you.
Last month, the notorious paedophile Sidney Cook was blasted into space to spend the rest of his life aboard a one-man prison vessel, posing no further threat to children on Earth. But it was revealed that an 8-year-old boy was also placed on board by mistake and is now trapped alone in space with the monster. A spokesman said, "This is the one thing we didn't want to happen."
I don't know if you've seen Brass Eyes Pedogeddon.
No.
It's a 30-minute special on pedophiles. It's fucking hysterical. It's incredible. I'd never seen Brass Eye. It's this British show. Steven turned me onto it. It's really fucking good.
Wow.
But in the break, if you don't want to endure what we have for you, which is a bunch of new stuff, because I saw a couple of you complain. That's all right. We have a bunch of new stuff for you. You can watch Pedogeddon in the meantime. It's on YouTube with a lot of fucking nudity, but it's also on Google Video. In one big video. Yeah. Well, we know how that works now. But when we get back, we're gonna figure out what game we're giving away. We'll probably figure out a way to give away Mario T-shirts.
Maybe.
Game deals. Maybe PS2 stuff. PSP2 stuff. I was there. I saw you leaning into your microphone. I think you meant.
No.
Then, yeah.
PlayStation 2 is very old.
But, yeah, I've used this song before, and I can't find it anywhere. I'm glad I had, like, this archive of, like, the 4th podcast we ever did. But this is a song called Murder Simulator, and the lyrics are Jack Thompson. So we'll see in a second.
Hooray.
Some people call it censorship. Some people say it's going too far. I say it's dangerous entertainment, murder simulator, enhancing kids. Some people call it censorship. Some people say it's going too far. I say it's dangerous entertainment, murder simulator, enhancing kids. My goal is money. My goal is power. They need to know.
You lead me through this. Hi, what's my name?
John DiMaggio.
That's right, and you're listening to
TalkRadar.
TalkRadar.
At GamesRadar.
At GamesRadar.com.
.com, yes.
That's right, I got it.
Bring it on, sucker. This my kind of shit.
Are you ready for a brand new podcast from GamesRadar.com? It's Laser Time with Tyler Wilde.
Alright, this is TW. Now don't be dreary. I'm taking your queries, alright.
It's better than bullet time. It's laser time. And he's taking your calls.
This is Samael. What makes a game horrible enough to be a 3, but not shitty enough to be a 2, or even a 1?
Now here's what you gotta do. You gotta sit yourself down. You gotta know a verb from a noun, and you gotta get yourself right out of town. Come on.
Laser time's a little smoother.
One Wingman Kingsta, why the fuck doesn't LucasArts make another Star Wars Battlefront game? I mean, it sold awesomely.
We go. Come on, now that's a tough one. That one's a doozy, my friend, like 5 men in a jacuzzi. You know what I'm saying? That ain't gonna turn out well. Nah, there's no solution to the man pollution. So what you gotta do, and let me tell you, this is what you gotta do. You gotta get yourself right out of town with that. Come on, alright.
Laser time is a little jazzy.
This is K.O. Kid from the forums. Would it make sense for Unicron to be in the new Transformers movie?
Alright, you trying to test old TW here? Now that's a tricky question. Alright, now let me tell you what you gotta do. You gotta put on those running shoes. You gotta make them bunny ears and tie them up real tight. Now they got tongues, but they ain't gonna bite. Am I right? Alright. And you gotta go outside. and you see Mrs. Stevenson over there, a little house on the corner with that nice little garden, and you say, hello, Mrs. Stevenson, them some mighty fine tomatoes you growing there, and she'll say, thank you, and you'll say, you're welcome, because you must always be polite. Am I right? All right. But then you gotta start walking down the street, get yourself jogging, get yourself running just like Forrest Gump, and run yourself right out of town with that. Come on!
Laser Time with Tyler Wilde, coming soon to GamesRadar.com.
Oh,
TalkRadar, bitches.
All of a sudden, I could feel 100% evil come over me.
I'm going to GamesRadar.com, the official website of the internet.
Can you dig it?
State of Florida has asked us to disclose our sexual crimes to you. We were bad, but now we're good. We're moving into your neighborhood. You know we're trying our best to be functioning members of society. We're not here to start no trouble. We're legally required to do the sex offender shuffle.
I'm Larry Arthauer, and I'll refrain from touching my neighbor's kids again. What I did was not too kind, but I'm a nice guy, you'll come to find. I've got a backyard and a real nice pool. Y'all should come over for a barbecue. We can make some cold drinks in my blender, but do keep in mind that I'm a sex offender.
All right. Didn't mean to just keep it quiet. We just can't talk about all our favorite racist cartoons while we're doing a podcast. It's Talk Radar segment 136, segment 2, and I've apparently had too much to drink.
We had some nice drinks from whoever sent them to us.
We did.
Thank you.
I have Rob. Rob confessed to it on Twitter, although the return address is different. I don't know. Thank you, Rob. We got sent a bunch of microbrewed brews. And, they're all gone for the second segment of the podcast. Yeah, that's the last one.
You fucking glutton.
Me?
Well, we shared them with non-podcast people, which we should not.
That's true.
Never do that.
Lizzie drank one of them.
Lizzie got one.
And Wildman had a couple.
Wildman had a couple.
Before driving home.
That's how you drive.
Asshole.
That's how you know you're driving home safe. You get a couple beers in you, and
levels you out.
Yeah, takes the edge off.
Don't drink and drive.
Booyah. Come on.
We were joking.
That
was a joke.
That's what I hate about that. Don't drink and drive. Be specific. Don't drink and drive. Don't drink a lot and drive. It's just like that.
I'm just saying
to be on the
drive. To be on the safe side, don't drink and drive at all. I think they're saying that perhaps as you drink more, your ability to judge if you can drive well is lessened.
But again, it seems so ridiculous. You and I growing up in Florida, even Elston and Illinois, you have a bar in the middle of nowhere open till 2. There's no fucking way to get there or get from or away from it. You can call a cab. My town doesn't have cabs.
Yeah, my town doesn't have cabs.
No, there's no way. There's no way except a car. So why don't you do something about the bar being open late? Oh, you won't because you know people need that. And
it's a societal necessity to have a bar.
Yeah, to have a place to relax like that.
My local Roadhouse had a
where pain don't hurt. The Double Dutch?
No,
I ain't got $20.
This is wild.
It was literally the Roadhouse, but it also had attached to it a liquor store, and it had a drive-through window. You could drive up and buy.
Oh, there's a drive-through liquor store. A whole drive-through. It's shaped like a U, a U upside down.
I don't get the condemnation. It doesn't mean you're drinking it in the car. You're drunk when you get there.
You drive through. They give you your booze. You drive out. It's great.
I guess it's no different than if you were to drive up to a 7-Eleven and buy a beer and then get in your car immediately. It's not much different.
I'm not arguing for drunk driving, but this country hates mass transit and organizing shit like that. And every other country already has that, so they don't have to worry about getting home. The rest of us live are drinking nowhere near our homes.
Well, also
miles away.
They don't grow up with drinking being like a thing they're not allowed to do, like a taboo, and then. Whatever.
That's speaking of which, new releases.
Speaking of societal norms,
new releases. Oh, I had them written down. Where are they? There they are.
Yep.
Holy shit! Seriously? On WiiWare this week, Jam City Rollers.
Yeah.
Jam City Roller
It's
Girls.
a roller girl game, and it's fucking terrible.
Did you play it?
I watched the trailer.
Okay.
Well, that's enough right there.
For a WiiWare game, that's enough.
Sort of. If you think about all trailers you've ever seen, they're supposed to make the game look good. If it looks bad in the trailer...
Good point.
What else do I see? No, not the Moscow airport bombing. That did not come out this week on any platform. Oh, Venetica came out on PC. I meant to grab clips from that, so now mentioning it is moot. Dead Space Extraction.
Yep, on the PSN.
On PSN, which I can always talk more about. No, it came out on Wii like at the end of 09, I believe, and it's just a first-person. Like it's a first-person account of someone who arrives when the marker is first unearthed. It ties into the beginning of the first Dead Space. You see a lot of the same areas, but it was a Wii exclusive, and I feel like part of the
no one bought it.
Like, and I really enjoyed it. Yes, it is an on-rails shooter. You do not control which direction you move, but I mean, it's just like Virtua Cop or Time Crisis or something like that. But there's more to it. It's not just mindless shooting. Like there's which weapon is appropriate for this situation. There's like an auto reload thing. You have what are they called, the powers that you have, like the push and pull. You have that stuff as well. And there's audio logs and also the Wii game. The graphics are actually very good because they don't have to worry about actual gameplay. It's just like play a movie in front of you. But it is all
they can choose where you're looking instead of,
and they can like put a lot of power of the Wii into one spot at a time, and and you get like these really nice looking faces, and you really start to come to like you're stuck with these people, and you're like, holy fuck, what's going on? And there's a lot of great oh shit moments, and wow, I don't know, it's a great, like, Dead Space has a bunch of crappy spin-off shit, comics and anime and Ignition and all that junk, but Extraction I feel like it's great it's great to play through once. Like, I had a fucking amazing time.
That's what I like about Dead Space 1 and the other game we'll mention in a bit.
Yeah.
Is that I not only am I in on the ground floor in this story, like the spin-offs still make sense. Like the story isn't so stupid and all over the place. Like it's still I still understand it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great concession. It's like, look, we can't do a Dead Space game that's going to be as graphically intense and serious as the console ones. It'll just look silly in comparison. And it has a great fake out in the beginning where you think the game is going to be a third person over the shoulder, but it's just like it's your vision and Isaac as the engineer standing in front of you. Not Isaac.
This is the Wii game we're talking about.
A guy dressed like Isaac in the engineer.
It's the Wii game we're talking about.
Yeah.
Good. I have a sound effect. That happens. Right into Dead Space. There it goes.
Right into Planet Dead Space.
Dead Space Wii.
But now that's actually the sound that plays when you cut off your own arm.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a part. There's a touch of
that video you did was really good.
We have a video up on the super review for the Wii version. It's just like a lot of the coolest, most graphic moments. And the only problem with I don't know how it's translated on the PSN, but one, I assume it's going to be an HD, like upscaled version, so that'll be cool. But I also feel like it might lose some of its wow because
I saw some it doesn't look great.
Yeah, because on Wii
it's HD now.
Yeah, because
it's smoothed out a little bit.
Right, but on Wii it really stood out. Like it was like, this is graphically intense. Some very serious, bloody, awful things happened that actually like you just said cutting your arm off. I was like, holy shit, this is really intense. But when you put it on PSN, like, that's a console everyone's used to 720 or 1080p graphics, and they're going to go play Dead Space 2, which is going to look a billion times better. It might come off as a little, like, rushed or something, or just not as intense, and I don't know.
So yeah, it's $15 on PSN, or you got it for free with if you bought the collector's edition.
Yeah, I mean, the game was $50 when it came out.
Oh, did you see the gun that comes in the collector's edition?
Yeah, I almost bought the collector's edition for that gun. No, it does look cool in the pictures. I haven't seen it live
I bought that because I wanted Extraction. I didn't realize I could just get it the same day on PSN. So.
That was a secret they didn't want revealed until launch day.
But I think it's totally worth playing once. Like, it's not a rail shooter you can really go through again and again, but because it's too long. Like, it's like a 6-7 hour game. But it's a story that's being told about these survivors, and I think it does it very well.
Enough about Dead Space.
I'm done.
All of it.
I'm done.
We have to talk about Lords of Arcana. We do. It's out on PSP. I believe we gave it a 3.
Yeah.
Which is 1 point higher than Venetica. But I'm just so glad to have games.
More like Veneria.
We keep having stupid review arguments, and I hate people saying, like, man, these big sites only give things. There's no Rockstar game that comes out that gets less than an 8 or a 9. I'm like, that's they spend fucking $50 million in years to make them an 8 or 9. I would love to write about a fucking 5 or a 4 or a 3.
They're psychotic about how good they make their games. They're like, even like GTA 4, they were like, is this okay? Is this okay? You like this? You sure? It's really good? Really?
Being fortunate enough to be in early in the process, I think we were just discussing this the other day, Michael, that every game that comes to your shelf is essentially a 6. It's almost a rare occasion that a game is QA'd and tweaked to a point where it's at least a 6. It's very rare that you get a game
at least
below
a 6, not essentially a 6.
No. Essentially, at least a 6.
Yeah.
Sorry that confused you.
Yeah, most commercially produced games, it's like they're not going to let this out the door. They're not going to approve it if they think it's going to score under a 6.
If it's a major publisher, they're not gonna. Though Lords of Arcana is published by Square, but
I was going to say it's averaging 45. So.
It's not internally developed by Square,
We're
though.
just saying most of the time. We're not saying this is a fail.
It's not impossible.
People say you don't use the whole scale, but I love using the whole scale, but it's so rare because we tend to call the good game.
Yeah,
yes. We want to do the ones that are above us.
Yeah. We're in a position where we can call the reviews we want, and why would I bother reviewing Lord of Arcana? It's going to be terrible. I could, and then I'd actually be kind of happy
to just pay someone to review it for us, and they'll give it a terrible score.
I remember for about an hour we were offered Lord of Arcana to review.
Remember Gary Steinman?
Was that what it was?
P-Tom,
yes, that was
running around the office asking us each 4 or 5 times, and asking the office, then disappearing, then coming back, asking the office again, asking us individually.
I'll give you $10. Buy your lunch tomorrow.
Basically, what it'll boil down
Lords
to.
of Arcana.
Come on, free game. You get to write about it in a magazine that's published nationally. Come on.
Did Breach come out this week?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Breach.
Breach.
Hero?
Yeah.
I think Breach was the game that was
Hero Breach.
sort of half stolen at Penny Arcade Expo.
Oh, is that the one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it came out on Steam. I don't know anything about it though, but people seem to be very
I hear
excited
it's
about
a nice FPS, but not good enough.
It's $11.
It's averaging a 65. Joystick gave it a 7. That's kind of the only one that's weight. Eurogamer was a 5. Gamer 2.0
yes,
gave it an 8.
They really need an upgrade, though.
Yeah. I think we're up to 5.0.
Yeah. My favorite release of the week, no offense, Henry, is Monday Night Combat. Monday Night Combat is out on PC.
Yeah.
And we have 2 codes to give away.
What?
That's right. We have 2 codes for Monday Night Combat to give away, and for one grand prize winner, a nice Monday Night Combat hat signed by the whole development team.
Oh, we're finally giving that away.
Yeah. I didn't want to. I've been holding on to it. I didn't want to part with it because I don't actually get a lot of stuff signed by a team that I like. I really did like Monday Night Combat. I thought it was extremely fun.
I wear my MNC shirt with pride that you picked up for me, and then said, "Nah, it's cool. You don't have to pay me back." Then a month later, I kind of need $20. Could you pay me back?
I haven't eaten in days,
and I was happy to do it.
Games journalism.
We should put up an article that's just like win this fucking hat and shit. That's a really cool prize.
Well, maybe we will. Maybe it'll be a second weekend giveaway. I don't know. We're going to give it away just yet, but we are giving that away.
Okay. You'll know after we do or before we do. You already read it on this.
You'll know right around the time we announced the PSP 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened. Oh, and Dead Space 2.
Yeah. It's good and stuff. So anyway, what was in the news this week?
No. Want to talk?
Yeah, it's great. It's super great.
I'm such in a cynical position. I knew I wasn't going to have to review it. I didn't have to cover it. I didn't preview it. Like, I can't wait to play Dead Space 2. I'll do it when I can. I know it's going to be awesome. I don't want to see anything until then. Then we were fapping it earlier today.
Yep.
And I saw the intro, and the intro sort of blew my mind with
how
mean it was.
Yeah. No, the intro 2 is great. I didn't want to reveal it in the
you asked, you didn't
in
want
the review. To. Yeah, well, I just want people to be surprised by it, but it's got a great intro. The game has so many awesome moments. So I was a big fan of the first Dead Space. I think
me too.
If I had the authority to vote in our 2008 Game of the Year that year, I would have pushed hard for Dead Space and lost to Fallout 3.
In hindsight, I wish that would have happened.
Yeah.
I'm very upset that it went to Fallout now after playing New Vegas, and I hate my...
Well, that's Obsidian, not Bethesda.
Doesn't matter.
Deal with it.
Overrated.
I am dealing with it.
Sorry.
What?
Nothing.
Not really. It's not really over.
I just liked what over the weekend when Heidi said... you're saying how much you hated playing Fallout New Vegas, but then she was in another room man, what are you playing with all that wonderful music? That sounds so nice.
What is that? You keep playing Frank Sinatra on repeat. I'm like, it's the tutorial, and I've heard all of the radio station twice. Fuck! Walk to this. I made a stupid joke. Nobody got it, but I called it Brown Bunny the Game, where just everything you do, you have to do in real time. You should mosey back to the saloon. Where is it? Fucking miles. It's miles away. Walk, bitch.
There's no fast travel in the old West.
Well, there is fast travel.
You just have to discover places first.
Yeah.
Well, that's not very fucking realistic.
But either way, it's
Dead Space 2.
Everything that Fallout is offering, I don't care care about. Yes, go ahead. Dead Space 2.
Anyways, Dead Space 2, it doesn't forget any of the stuff that was really awesome in the first game, but it all builds on it. It's not a revolution, it's an evolution, guys.
Hey.
Okay. But anyway, it's a lot bigger than the first Dead Space. You're not just stuck on a ship that's not completely the same, but there's a lot more change up in environments. There's more interesting enemies. There's actually big events that happen that are way more interesting than shooting asteroids in
I would
Dead
call
Space
it taking
1.
cues from Uncharted.
I want no basketball
definitely.
achievements. But I was arguing about that last week, that nobody had taken any cues from Uncharted. And I know the development schedule is weird, but why haven't we seen an Uncharted ripoff or something on par with Uncharted?
I think a lot of games are starting that now, though, where it's like the Modern Warfare Uncharted thing of a big set piece, oh my god thing happening, where the building collapses around, Crysis 2 has some where the MetLife building gets shot down on top of you in New York.
And Dead Space 2 has more than a few of those, and they're all really cool. But then there's still, I didn't feel like in Uncharted they had a different spirit of like Nathan Drake he's kind of laughing at it the whole time. But in this one you're like, I'm still scared, and you're going like, oh my god, I almost died here, or whatever. That's more of the spirit.
Is Isaac more talkative or emotive in this?
Well, as in he talks, he's definitely more talkative.
Right. He's a person now.
Yeah, no, he's
I
a person.
assumed when they brought him out, he'd never be a real person. He would be a Master Chief.
No, the whole game is about him becoming a guy. There were times in the first Dead Space where he needed to talk, but he had the rule that he couldn't. When he first sees his vision of Nicole and thinks it's her, wouldn't you think he'd say like, "Oh my god, I'm so happy to see you. You're alive, yay!" But he was just like, but this time
stasis.
He talks the whole time, and he develops a personality. And it's not that, and he's not an action star. He doesn't say one-liners or anything, and he barely even seems to have any hope for his life for most of the time. But he barely finds something to hold on to.
What's great about the intro is that he's trying to explain, or being asked to explain what he's been through. It's doesn't matter, and then it just happens again. Fuck.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. When I thought about the story of the first Dead Space, it really is about Isaac. Just loses everything. He lives through it, but he's got nothing at that. I guess he technically saved the day by destroying the marker, but he lost his.
Judging by the opening,
destroyed.
No one gave him any credit for that.
Well, he was
being patted on the back.
Yeah, he was. Well, because the conspiracy with the unitologists and blah blah blah.
Or that
they
it just looks like, you struggled to survive. Good job.
Well, the other good thing about 2 is 2 story is its own story. It's not like a lot of part 2s that are building to a part 3 they're going to sell you
really
later.
Nice.
I'm not going to say never. It doesn't not give you glimpses of a possible bigger.
Yeah, I don't want to say
conspiracy.
cliffhanger, but almost every game nods to me yes, there will be another one.
Well, every game
you'll find out later.
If you spend more than $10 million on a game, it has to be a trilogy. That's how it is in today's business. But anyway, the combat is still great. It's actually fairly similar. It's not much different from the combat in the first game. You don't even have that many new powers. You do have new weapons, and every weapon is pretty useful and has alt fire. They're all really well made, the weapons. And,
we jumped in with your Game
Plus, yeah.
And your plasma, right? Your default plasma weapon was fucking awesome.
Yeah, well, because I had turned it up all the way, and I opened up its special, which makes it basically every shot is an acid shot that does ag damage.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, that's why there
so
was
burning
precise on that. Well, and the damage was amped as high as it could go to.
Having played that game, I played it on hard last time. I saw that weapon, gimme.
Well, overall, by the end of the game, you feel more powerful as Isaac than you ever felt in the first Dead Space. But you'll still get killed. Even when I finally had the best suit and the most power nodes, I was still getting killed. The game has some mean difficulty spikes.
You had the most power nodes?
Yeah. The game has some mean difficulty spikes, though. That just...
You're looking at your iPad for 20 minutes.
The difficulty spikes just pop up, and you enter a room, and you're killed 5 times in a row, and you stop being scared. You're like, fuck this. I'm sick of this part. And that kind of disturbs the the feeling of it. But then again, like, how scared would you be if you knew almost nothing could kill you? You know, it's like, it's a tough balance. Like, the fear is because these things do pose a threat to you if you don't take them seriously. But the threat does have to pay off in you getting killed sometimes. That's another cool thing about Dead Space. You'll see yourself die so many times. They animate the death so well because they know you're going to see it a lot.
Yeah, I died right in the first. Hey, take control of this.
No,
game.
I did too.
I died
the first,
twice.
because they're not fucking around. Those things are so powerful,
and they did it differently both times.
Yep.
And they both ended in stabbing me through the head, but it was different both times, and sort of
I'm joining the no shoes party.
Isn't
here.
it cool?
Yeah.
How's that feel?
Shoes.
Hey, this room ain't smell proofed.
The shoes coming off.
Why have my shoes off for?
I'm keeping my shoes on. That means I win.
Yeah. No, it doesn't.
I aired out
It means
my
I
feet.
rule you all.
That means you're the least Asian here.
It means I can stomp on your toes.
Something funny is proximity humor. I'm really far away.
How, Elson? I'm gonna yank you in with a rope.
Oh, God.
Come on.
Oh, my. Whoa. Hey,
Yeah.
you, baby.
Ha.
You are an ace with that rope, man.
Oh, look at that! Look, we just performed a comedy.
So yeah, and it's got multiplayer.
Dead Space 2.
It's got multiplayer that's pretty fun too. But I don't think people are gonna.
I really want to play it. Like, I love that it's a stripped down Left 4 Dead. I'm really interested in that.
No, I had a lot of fun. I played it for about 2 hours during the review process with
God, okay.
a lot of people.
We did have
a lot. Brad Shoemaker is such a camper at Giant Bomb. Dick.
I heard you cussing at him.
Yeah, I was like, "Fucking Brad! God damn it!" Like, well, also no, it was
Someone call him
uneven.
methodical.
Somebody dropped out of the game. It should have been 4-on-4, but for half of it, it was 3-on-4. I was always on the 3 team, and I was like, "You guys aren't good. We have only 3 dudes, you know." And then we find 4. We won 1. And I was like, see. I was a lot of. I made a lot of friends that day.
Sportsmanship, Henry.
Yeah.
Sportsmanship.
Yeah.
That's why I don't play multiplayer games. Make me into an unhappy person.
You're kind of
That's
an
why I don't
asshole
play
just
them.
watching me like behind my shoulder. I can't imagine you're better on a microphone.
No, I'm bad. That's why I don't play many multiplayer games. But the game, like Dead Space 2, is like a campaign is like 11 hours long. It's great, and you'll probably want to start over again in New Game Plus and try to beat it on the harder difficulty. That's the other good thing about New Game
I've got
Plus.
all this time to do a game twice, Henry.
Well, New Game Plus is better this time. In Dead Space 1, New Game Plus only let you carry over your items into the same difficulty. This time, if you beat it once, you can carry all your items and upgrades into another difficulty.
Awesome.
Making it a lot easier. But anyway, yeah, it's really good. I would suggest getting it. It was just shy of being a 10. It just didn't do enough awesome new stuff to be a 10.
I was telling you about my new game dilemma where I'm trying to play more stuff, but also like I got Fallout. Like, this is gonna be 60 hours of something I don't like. Okay, I'm done with this. What do I want to do now? I want to play Enslaved again. I want to play an 8-hour game again.
Yeah.
On a
it
different
goes a lot
difficulty.
faster the second time.
And that's sort of I don't know if we can find a genre title for that, but that's sort of like I don't ever play games again. And before I played games like the same game I beat over and over again, the same difficulty again and again and again, because you were saying there was a certain game we could play from the old days all the way through when you know what you're doing in a couple of hours, and there's still a reward to that. And I don't feel the same way.
Like, I played all the way through Limbo on a live stream last year, and it was like, well, I knew all the puzzles, so it was like 2 hours.
Yeah, a little bit. Or Portal. Portal, you can do that with Portal. But now it's like your reward is a cutscene, not finishing the game. I don't know. Maybe it has to do with us getting older. Don't know. But Dead Space is one of those games.
Have you seen how those kids dress today?
I know, with their fucking flat-brimmed hats, with the stickers on them and their Justin Bieber voices. I'm gonna baby.
So they're auto-tuned robots.
That is the most perfect approximation of auto-tuning I have ever heard.
I wanna hug you in the air. I can't believe they play it on the radio. Man, how do they get away with that?
I know. Can't believe the Beeb.
Are there any other new releases?
I'm gonna feast you on
Oh, wait, I wanted to mention one other cool thing about Dead Space 2.
Wow, Michael's falling back.
There's a download game called Dead Space Ignition, which actually isn't good, but
hot and fresh out the
Don't
kitchen.
confuse it with Extraction.
Yeah, Extraction good, Ignition not good.
R. Kelly has ruined the word ignition for me.
Ignition? Why?
The remakes to Ignition, hot and fresh out the kitchen.
Is that what he yelled?
Mama rolling these bodies, every man in here wishing.
in your motherfucking mouth.
Sipping on Coke and rum.
But
I'm
if
like,
you-
so what? I'm drunk.
If you beat Ignition, it unlocks a ton of stuff that's going to make Dead Space 2 easier for you if you want to do that. Like, not only do you get a free awesome suit at the start of the game, but you also, like, a lot in the one cool thing about Ignition is in the story you're a security guy opening doors, and then when you play Dead Space 2,
that sounds exciting.
The doors you unlocked are unlocked in the game in Dead Space 2.
That's a
Is
cool
there
idea.
any way to unlock them in Dead Space 2 in the game you paid for?
Nope. They're just locked doors that just seem. They're just like, oh, I guess that's just a wall they wanted to add a locked door light to.
And in summation, Henry gave that a.
We changed our scale.
He gave that a punch to the Fox and the Hound.
I stomped on 9 dogs. That's really how good it was.
Yes.
I love stomping on shit.
Who wants to get mad?
Yeah, all right.
Can I get, if anyone gets this reference, mad, bad, and crazy?
Nope.
Anybody?
I didn't get that.
Is that Battletoads?
Yes, it is Battletoads.
I was wrong.
He was
shouldn't have
correct.
said- I was wrong.
Wait a
I just
minute.
found that sound effect. I
That
didn't
sound
know I had
effect
it.
was you being wrong
I didn't have
about
hold
the
on, I
wrong
have
sound
it.
effect.
There you
No,
go.
I just thought that sound effect was the right way to react to a Battletoads reference.
Yeah.
We're not anyone going to sit here and pretend like they don't like Battletoads.
I liked it as a kid.
Don't even pretend!
I like
liked it as a
one
kid, but I know
Battletoads
they're
game,
broken.
and it's not Battletoads.
They're not broken.
They're ludicrously hard.
That's lots of games are that hard.
Stop it. You
It's just
can't do
those
this.
those levels. With
The
bikes.
speed tunnel.
Battlemaniacs
is
rules
great.
beyond compare.
Oh, so good.
But that makes Battletoads look really fucking stupid.
You know what else is really good?
What?
Battletoads Double Dragon.
Yeah, I love that one because it's the first like crossover game I ever heard of.
Holy shit, it's so good.
I was impressed because I'd never played the original, and then I did like a few months ago for the first time. I was like, this is actually really well animated.
Yeah, the original Battletoads, it's really
No, it
good.
is
On
a good
NES.
game. It's a good.
That's because it's from Rare when they mattered.
Yep.
When they had IPs.
It's a wrong button.
Do you have a sound of a lorry driving away? Perhaps a lift full of chips and crisps. I don't like
chips and crisps.
If you fail, you and your people will die.
No, that's not the British either.
That's from Star Trek Voyager.
So we were going to be mad about something.
You were going to be mad about something, and I almost like everybody keeps bothering me when I don't do these things because we used to complain about the media so much, but I feel like we've done it so much to where like it's not a surprise and there's no reason to be mad. It's
The
like,
media is stupid. Okay.
Yeah, it's like yelling at Christians. They're never going to change, or they won't be Christians. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
And they're dumb
But
delusions.
This is
We're
still,
so smarter than them.
This is sort of asinine, and it's fun to look at from a journalistic perspective because we've had those discussions. Brett worked in television. These are fun ways to like. This is such a non-story. It said Russian TV, but these people sound very American. Are tying in the terrorist bombing in Moscow.
Yeah.
The Rope-a-Dope Airport. Am I trivializing the tragedy by not knowing the name?
I don't think they're listening.
No, the Rope-a-Dope Airport.
Boing.
Yeah, Boeing. Here, let's just start it off.
The aftermath of Monday's blast has sparked hot debate as the stuff of a fictional computer game became shocking reality. RT's Lauren Lister reports.
By the way, this fictional computer game came out last year.
I think she said computer came.
A computer game. This
No,
fictional
last
computer
year.
game.
Last year.
Like, Michael, what was your favorite non-fictional computer game of last year? It's Oregon Trail every year.
Oh,
every year,
yeah.
every year, every year, essentially.
Oh no, I know. My favorite was Moscow Airport bombing.
That definitely deserves. Yes,
Such a prophetic game.
yeah. Why isn't that game under fire right now? Here's more idiots.
A terrorist attack kills dozens of innocent people and creates chaos at a Moscow airport.
No.
Fact or fiction?
I do love that editing because it jumps right into fact. Wait for the. Is he editing this live?
Or fiction? It's the scenario being played out here in this popular American video game sold worldwide, Call of Duty: Modern Warfare 2.
Doesn't it sound like Call of Duty and Modern Warfare 2 were spliced together? Like, no, that's not the name of the game. You have to go in post. We'll fix it.
Yeah.
Never mind. The actual attack was a suicide bombing.
No.
There were no bombs in the No Russian
I know.
mission.
I know, and that's how they beat around that is glorious. Because they never once say, like, should they be accountable? It's like, the thesis of the story is, man, can you believe that happened first 2 years ago and again? Like, man, it's sort of like, did you see the what's the X-Files spinoff?
The Lone Gunman.
The Lone Gunman. And they had that episode of the plane
flying into the Trade Center.
And nobody did a story like, could this have inspired a terrorist?
Like, that never happened.
Nope.
It wouldn't have even been popular, but it's so wonderful.
In this mission, the player goes on a terrorist rampage, helping to massacre civilians in a fictitious Moscow airport. It may have seemed too gruesome and tragic to become true, were it not for the very real events seen here at the Domodedovo airport.
Again, there's no news here whatsoever. Nobody ever thought this mushroom would actually make a person grow until it happened. This one time. It's so sad.
It's just a desperate, I don't know, it's like you're playing on people's weakness, like desire for resolution to something awful that happens. Like, what's something to blame? Well, 2 years ago, this video game had a situation that was kind of similar.
Terrorists are known for playing and emulating video games, right?
I didn't even think I'd have to get to that. But
I know.
Because you can easily look who's to blame, and you can easily look at their stance on video games.
Yeah.
They're probably the same as women and alcohol, which is none.
Well, now... anyway, does this mean that we're soon going to be invaded by Russia in Washington, D.C.?
Of course. They're gonna raid Activision, and then the whole...
They're going to invade our video games. They're going to start showing up on our servers and poning us noobs. It'll suck.
More Russian, I say.
In what investigators believe was a terrorist attack committed by a suicide bomber inside the international arrivals of Russia's busiest airport.
There's what it is. That's what it is. And I do have to... I've seen trolls do this a lot, and I'm like, man, fuck you. They're just going for traffic. But then, like... And I'm not pointing fingers, because we're guilty of this, too. Every single game site posted this. Everybody posted back to this and, like, watched this video.
Well, most of the game sites posted it in a... Really?
They did.
But we're still helping to spread that and get them views.
We are, but I don't know. It's a way in which I don't want it to happen and no one know. I want it to happen and people know that this happened because it's ridiculous.
We give Halo Reach a 7, and like a couple of the comments read like, well, they just wanted to do something different and cause a controversy.
I hate to say, but it was an 8.
Yeah.
Was it an 8?
It was an 8.
ODST
was a 7. We have to redo this.
It makes even less sense now, doesn't
We have to redo this. No, it doesn't. It doesn't, because it should have been a fucking 6.
We should start the podcast.
Should have been a goddamn 6.
Should have been a 3.
Should have been... fuck.
But I don't know. I mean, it's the same with, like, Sarah Palin has nothing to do with anything that affects them.
We are not an anti-Sarah Palin podcast.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She is a wonderful woman with totally fuckable glasses.
You just take the glasses off her face and fuck them.
Before even being voted into any kind of federal office, had bilked the government for $200,000, basically clothes related. I am behind everything.
What you do is you strap a fleshlight to those glasses. Oh, there you go.
I'm gonna fuck her in her highlights.
That's terrifying.
I do. Is that possible?
As far as the video game version, a lot more people have been involved in this violence. The video game was released in November of 2009 by the American company Activision.
Correct.
And in just a few months, sales had surpassed $1 billion.
What? That's a lot of games.
Even for people that didn't download the game, just a simple YouTube search where you type in "no Russian" can reveal that segment. Right here, this one has 870,000 views. Now, with so many people seemingly downloading, playing, or watching this game, you have to consider whether or not anybody ever thought that this game could so closely resemble reality.
So,
all right. You think she's going, it's like, you have to wonder if somebody ever thought, could I do this?
Could I do
but
this?
She says, if this game could so closely resemble reality, so she kind of pulls her punch at the end.
Yes. Yeah. And which everything about this is a non-story. But they consult people!
I mean, reporting about coincidence. Like, that's really all it is.
They're reporting, can you believe this was depicted by an artist ahead of time?
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Someone painted a picture of a building collapsing in 1437.
And
this week...
And it's on the back of my dollar bill when I fold it.
A building in Michigan collapsed for the first time in history.
See, this is what I like. We're not so mad about it, because at this point, it's just fucking funny.
It is.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's really stupid. And what she seems to be implying is that terrorists play Modern Warfare 2, and something about guys who, like, don't eat fucking beef in a turban yelling about a server not loading and like their Xbox Live Party speech
in a cave.
Like it's just hysterical to me.
Yeah,
Well, I can't be pissed off at this when in the same week we had fucking Congressman Joe Baca trying to get his let's put game warning labels on games saying that they can lead to violence because research.
Was that guy a D or an R?
Because research.
Because research. I cited research.
Because research says.
I did.
He looked on all the box backs.
I did. I bought
Is that
all
guy a
research.
Democrat or a Republican?
He's a Democrat, but a Republican co-signed the bill.
Nah, see, that's again. I've said this before on this podcast, but like, these Democrats who try to be like the only family value stance they can take is kicking the lowest form of entertainment that they see fit, and so like they wouldn't do this to film or music these days.
What the hell happened? Like when I was growing up, it was always the conservatives who wanted to censor everything. It's like this is offensive to Jesus. We need to get it off the shelves at the Blockbuster.
Well, there are those people, but there's also the Tipper Gores out there.
Yeah, exactly. It's like she just started that whole ball rolling, and now all of a sudden, like every fucking Democrat is a censor-crat.
But you know what sucks?
Like we have to make the pop culture safe for our children.
Don't get me started on those spindocrats.
That's why I feel that it's over. But September 11th. What makes a conservative?
They hate taxes.
No, not hating. I don't want to trivia.
Resistance to change. Actually,
sort of. Well, I think it's mostly being afraid of what you don't know what's going to happen.
Well, I mean, conservative. That's the literal.
Yeah, I want to do what's happening right now, and nothing different.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that's different is probably bad. But then you get September 11th, and everybody became a little bit more conservative as a result of this thing that we thought could never fucking happen. But I thought, dude, it'll be the 10th anniversary soon.
Yep.
You got to move on. You have to move on. Like, Muslims are not Hitler.
No, Obama is.
Sharia law is not a threat to Oklahoma.
Obama is the worst socialist Hitler African that's Muslim that has ever existed. But this is another clip.
The issue is we need to know if terrorists or extremists are using these videos or these DVDs or these games to basically apply the model.
This is painful.
Listen to what you're saying. And like, I also hate this that they don't like give voices. Like, why did the terrorists do this? And most of it is because they don't like American influence and American culture. And part of that is Activision.
And if they
and Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah. And if they blow something up in Russia, I'm betting it has more to do with Chechnya than a video game.
Or maybe a front that's united against, I don't know, say blowing up Russia in Chechnya, who is on record in doing that before, and everybody's attributing it to
What was the actual purpose of the attack? Did they say
somebody taking credit for it? I mean, though, like,
did someone say
ideology? The Caucasus Front, the Emirates.
I don't know who's actually doing
Sorry,
I really don't give a fuck. Like, if you're bothering someone to the point of terrorism, you're probably being an asshole. Relent a little bit.
I agree.
I don't care who you are, what your politics are. Like, if you have terrorism in your country, you're being a dick somehow. Ignore it all you want. Jesus, everybody looks uncomfortable.
How sad is it that I just Googled Moscow airport bombing, and the first thing that pops up is terrorist games linked to Russian airport bomb.
Oh my God!
Remember
the Sydney Morning Herald. There's your journalism. Thank you.
Denials aside, some say games like this can aid and abet reality.
Yeah, idiots.
What the fuck?
Wait. What is Michael? I need a linguist here. What does abet mean?
I forget.
Aid and abet?
It's usually aid and abet when you're helping somebody.
So they can help
doing something wrong.
I can take sanctuary
like if you
in
knew,
Modern Warfare?
Like if you knew where a murderer was, and they said, "Tell us where it is."
I've been charged with this, so I know it means illegally. I just don't understand what she means by it. Like, because there's no way I can commit a crime.
A bet is encouraging or not reporting
reality.
To encourage, support, or countenance.
All right. I
seems like
I only accepted it when Michael said it.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. You don't have a correction noise. Yeah, would you like one?
No.
Yeah, let's come up with.
No, I want a Zelda chime right fucking now. Okay.
That should be more celebratory.
No, let's play it again. You got it. You're almost there. It's almost there.
We accept this.
No,
Red is right.
Go to YouTube right now. I want a fucking Zelda chime. You know what? Forget it.
I have a Zelda chime.
No, forget it.
I have a Zelda chime.
No, you don't.
You're gonna play it in the fucking speaker, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
All right, don't ruin.
Denials.
Oh no.
But so far, no one is coming out questioning justification for a virtual version. Lauren Lister, RT.
For a virtual.
Have you looked at the context that happens in.
Have you looked at Medal of Honor?
I know.
Those are still ongoing wars.
Like, people who don't play video games, they just... I know that to a lot of alarmist non-gamers that you hear video game and you just think, oh, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 must be about shooting up airports.
It's like
there's probably level after level of shooting up airports, right? That's what you do.
Level 2 was Moscow.
What we've seen in those 5 seconds is all there is to the entire game. There's no story, right? There's no characters.
It's the only game I can think of. One, it's mature rated. I don't want to harp on that. That doesn't excuse anybody. Everybody of any age should try and play mature rated games.
Well, I'm pretty sure no action movies ever showed airports being shot up.
But but it's the only level.
Never.
It's the only level in history they gave you the option to skip.
Mhm.
Like how has that ever? Has that ever happened before?
Well, it was
I don't want to play the water temple.
It was honestly a pretty ballsy move of them to put that in the game.
I know.
I'm surprised.
No, they can't challenge the medium at all. They must only do puzzles and that Mario.
That's what was nice. That like the most successful game, one of the most successful games of all time, actually did like push some boundaries of what could be done in a game.
Gave them a lot of fucking credit for that.
Yeah, it's like it's very easy to hit on Activision, but it's like no one else had the balls to ever do that.
Yeah, and the people who did will now be making games for EA.
Well, Activision did allow them to do that.
That's what I said. Like,
ultimately.
I would happily give Activision shit, but it's like in that case they allowed that to exist at all is a very bold move from a company that has a lot to lose, the most to lose.
I'm talking geeky hypotheticals.
All right.
What if that was like they wanted to leave Activision and they were acting out?
Oh, when they did that?
Yeah.
They were trying to push it as far as they could to see if they could get fired.
Maybe. You see those things in kind of dramas of people who are like fighting censorship.
It's more than just those two guys that were involved in
No,
its
obviously. But you know, you say that, but then like 40 people left in the first week. So like they were pretty clear they didn't want to be there anymore.
Well, I was more interested in that conspiracy news earlier this week about how like how they held people at Infinity Ward were asked to hold back on releasing a map pack until after Battlefield Bad Company 2 came out by Respawn people. Like,
I realize I did this to you a couple of weeks ago.
I'm done.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all right.
I did not know what you were doing. I just thought you were playing Zelda.
On my iPad.
On your iPad. That'll happen.
Which was previously used to show the rest of us gay porn.
That'll happen. That's why I'm sort of excited, because in a couple minutes we'll know whether a PSP2 officially exists or not.
Oh my
God.
Because did you get to talk about your time with the 3DS? Or were you not
Oh,
here?
no, I didn't actually.
I did the talking for you.
Are we moving on to that?
No,
okay.
Like, I don't hate... yeah, we are. But I don't hate the 3DS. I'm going to buy one day one. I can't wait to play some Virtual Console stuff. But then Elston just came in and like, how do you justify charging $40 for your game when Angry Birds, the most popular game in the world, digitally, portably, is $1?
Yeah.
And I thought, yeah, is Nintendo bringing something 40 times as good?
No. I mean, as far as like on the go, like I just need 10 minutes of gameplay. It's like people. I before I get onto that tangent, I wrote Justin Towle, Matt Cundy, and I wrote a thing about like what we actually feel about the 3DS, having spent several hours playing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, leaving there, I was actually like, wow, this launch lineup not that hot, because like Ridge Racer looks, not graphically impressive, and the 3D is kind of like okay. Pilot Wings Resort, I think, will be pretty fun, and the 3D works there well. Kid Icarus was, for me, really hard to control. I think if you have large hands at all, that game is going to be cramped as hell. Just the way.
Or if you're left-handed.
No, if you're left-handed, you're kind of fucked.
Yeah.
Actually,
try to play upside down. Maybe.
I ran into several left-handed people at the demo of Kid Icarus. When I was playing, there were two other left-handed people at the table with me, and they were like, "Is there an option to switch?" And they're like, "No." So fuck you, buddy.
Learn.
So yeah, undo your genetic history.
Your left hand is sinister.
But other than like Super Street Fighter 4 being really amazing, I was definitely taken with that. And I actually thought Resident Evil The Mercenaries, which is, yes, just the mode.
Is it called The Mercenaries?
Yeah, it's the Mercenaries mode from RE4 and 5. But like, it was really fun because...
But it isn't a launch game, though.
It's... No, I don't
launch
think...
window.
I think it's a launch window game. But I mean, it looked pretty damn thorough when I was playing it. But I mean, it looks great. It controls just fine. The 3D is, 3D, you can take it or leave it. It doesn't really add anything to that game. But that was fun. But in general, yeah, the 3D, just the device as a whole, I was like, other than the 3D, which is cool, but think a year from now, we're not gonna care. It's not it's not like it's a new gimmick that is gonna.
Oh, I did this on another podcast. Like, it's the lowest movie attendance in like 15 years. It's the most 3D movie. Well, yeah. God, I had to make this stupid fucking analogy, but like, Despicable Me comes out. It's gonna occupy what normally, like multiple theaters.
Yeah. Like
now it needs multiple theaters in non-3D and multiple theaters in 3D. Meaning, any other movie you'd want to see can't be there because this requires more theaters now.
Right.
Because some people can't fucking see 3D. Like, a lot of the population can't see or don't care for it or don't want to pay extra for it.
I don't care. Like, I've seen several 3D movies, and I'm like, if I pay
I
$3...
don't notice after 10 minutes.
That's the thing. It's the 3DS. It's like, it's going to be really cool. The first time you see it, you will be like, wow.
3DS is like the coolest 3D I've ever fucking... And no glasses, awesome.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's better than the 3D you'll see in a movie.
But I'm like, imagine 1 year from now.
Yeah.
When I was playing Ocarina of Time, even, I played for like 10 minutes, and I'm like, fucking just turn this off already. And I just turned it off. Now it's a 2D, great-looking screen, great 2D conversion of Ocarina of Time, Super Street Fighter 4, pretty okay games on there. So at that point, you're left with a system that's like kind of a PSP-level graphics, maybe a little better, maybe a little worse, depends on what's going on in the game, because like Super Street Fighter 4 looks fucking good. I feel like a PSP could do it, but maybe not. I don't know. But
same amount of buttons.
In general, you're left with a system that when you take the 3D away, which is an option because there's a slider there, which to me admits like 3D isn't crucial to your gameplay experience because we're giving you the option to turn it off.
This won't work for everybody.
It won't work for everybody. People want it, but they do give you the slider so you can find a level of 3D that's comfortable, and that's
good.
That
is cool.
It's important because.
But that's what I couldn't.
Cranking it all the way up to the top for me doesn't work at all.
That's what I couldn't remember because I thought of it like a Venetian blind. When you turn it all the way down, is the screen diminished in any way?
No. There's dips in the resolution and definitely dips in the frame rate for certain games when you turn the 3D on.
Yeah.
Because it's rendering like a lot of stuff.
Yeah. It's rendering 2 images.
But, I mean, when you turn the 3D off, though, you're left with a system that's not technologically really surpassing the PSP, and it only has one analog stick. It's like, yes, you added one, but if you want to be a really gaming system, now you've got this system that looks like PSP games with 3D that a year from now people will be kind of accustomed to, and it'll be commonplace, I bet. There'll be other things out there. iPhone will probably do somebody will steal this technology and do it themselves. And you're left with a system that's going to have the same problems the PSP had with one analog stick and trying to do console-sized games on a handheld when, it seems like the antithesis of everything Nintendo has done with handhelds. It's a $250 handheld with a 5-hour battery life.
It's now saying visuals matter, and you should sacrifice everything for that.
Well, it's like power and visuals and technology over a long battery life and gameplay, and I don't know, like that's like Game Boy lasted for 10 years because it was so good about
the ugliest system.
It was ugly, but you could play it for fucking ever. And the same way with the DS, like most DS games look like ass compared to a PSP on a technical level, but I'll play my DS.
I love it
any day.
I love it because I love my DS and it's so convenient to play stuff.
Yeah.
But the 3DS seems like an evolution only in terms of Nintendo if you disregard everything that's ever happened in the world.
And that's what the other thing that bothers me, which I'm hoping we'll see.
This is good for Nintendo. Nice job. Good for you and a more powerful system.
Yeah, it's just like it really is Nintendo's. So Nintendo's suggestion here is, it's more powerful and it's 3D, which is amazing. It pulls you into the game like never before. No, it does not. It's kind of cool. Like Pilot Wings, you go, wow, that can really tell a distance in this island that I'm flying over. That
doesn't help you play. Doesn't enhance.
Doesn't make me any better. And none of the games on display were like this really benefits from this. Like this adds a very noticeable you got to play it in 3D.
It was the $40 game,
and the games are $40.
$40
for a handheld game.
$40 like Wii games launch at $40.
You guys were paying $40 all the time for all the PSP games you played, right?
No,
a lot of them were. The last Ys games, I bought like 4 Ys games, and they're all $30 when they come out.
That's why I want to see what Sony does, because if they offer a better pricing solution, I think they have they could sell Parappa to me for like $7, and I'll buy that every time.
But then, like Chris Kohler pointed out in his article on Game Life, where he said it's a behind the times device in the sense, and I feel this way too. Like all three of us, Kundi and Justin Towle and myself, we're like, it's strangely a behind the times device. Like it's not acknowledging the way the world is trending. Like
Justin or Kundi, you said
Nintendo is ever either way ahead of the curve or way behind.
Yeah,
they only have those two settings.
He said the idea of and now here's your stylus.
No, exactly. They handed me.
I think the stylus is one of the best methods of video game control I've seen sometimes. Used there.
When they handed me that stylus, I'm like, oh right, you're still doing this. You're the only fucking handheld thing in the world that still popularizes a stylus.
Yeah, like BlackBerry doesn't use it anymore.
How many millions upon millions upon millions of people are just growing like...
It'll be a forgotten word. A stylus is a VCR.
Yes, a stylus. It's like, no, I just touched the screen. Like, why do I have to have the stupid wand do it? Like, I don't inherently think it's a bad idea, but like, they're not trying to sell it to us. Like, they're trying to sell another 130 million 3DSs, which is what they did with the DS. And the DS was launched in 2004 when there weren't smartphones fucking everywhere with dollar games that people could buy because they don't give a fuck. Now we'll buy our $40 games and suck it up because we're like dedicated gamers. We'll play forever.
My biggest issue
3DS, it's not going to do that.
Guess what, guys? You only have one friend code.
Yeah,
one friend code.
That's good.
Well, which means that I don't have a profile. Once again, for my Virtual Console and DSiWare games, that means they're non-transferable.
Well, I think there'll be more.
I wish I could have played the fucking Mario Sports Mix commercial. Whose shirt I'm wearing right now? It's hosted by Mies,
of course.
The thing about
it's so over.
Yeah, the Mii thing is over, and they were like, you can create a Mii in the 3DS. Like, nobody gives a shit. But anyway, the 3DS is a little more lenient. Like, the steps in the right direction. We're giving a friend code per system instead of per fucking game. Yeah. So you'll exchange this code once, and if you connect to anyone locally, it automatically just connects you guys as friends.
Pedophile.
But they didn't go into any details. Like, does that have a profile name? Do I have a friends list? Can I see what other people...
What that means to me, if you don't have a profile, then I doubt my friend code has anything to do with me buying Ocarina of Time on my Virtual Console.
But the thing is, like Kohler pointed out, like, for example, that download store, the Virtual Console, will not be there on day one. They're adding that.
I know.
It's crazy.
Which is that means after you buy it, the way that they want to sell you digital games, which is a standard on every fucking phone you buy the last 3 years.
Wow, I didn't even think.
You'll have to connect to the internet for the first time to even have it.
Yeah, wow.
Like, it won't even be there to spur you to go online to look for downloadable games. It won't even fucking be there. And that's like such a... You guys have to pull your head out of the sand. Like, you can't... We're doing our own thing. Everybody just fuck off. Nintendo's here, but here's a new system. Buy
Legally, it's the Nintendo system launching without a Mario, Zelda game.
There's no Mario,
Nintendo's
Zelda.
Launch lineup is their personal launch lineup is crap.
Pretty weak. Like, I think the launch lineup as a whole is kind of weak. Like, I don't think Kid Icarus will be a day. Kid Icarus isn't a day one.
I'll buy
I read a story.
Street Fighter is really cool. Like, I love Super Street Fighter 4, and I was able to play and pull off moves and combos, and I thought it was really cool.
I'll be surprised. It seems like if you love Street Fighter, you wouldn't want to play it on the DS.
No, you know what I'm excited is I can practice legit combos on that thing. Like, when I'm thinking like, wait, does this link into that? Let me try it. If it does it on the DS one, it will do it on the regular one. Like, I was doing combos and chaining into ultras and all this shit.
Perfect.
And it was really cool. And I'm like, it's kind of cramped because of the button layout. And I mean, you just can't help that. But as far as like this works, and they're not they're not like blowing smoke up your ass.
All right,
cool.
But yeah, the Nintendo launch lineup is just Nintendogs and
Pilot
Wings and Steel Diver. Well, and I swear I read a news story today that like some Nintendo representative said it'll be post E3 for Ocarina. And
it probably will. Yeah, I think both of those will be late June.
I hate that.
And Ocarina will be cool.
Did you post your screen comparison?
No.
That shit is so cool.
I'm gonna try
doing with the new Ocarina.
Yeah. I'm trying to post that this week. It might have gone up Thursday or maybe today on Friday when we posted the podcast. But I wanted to do it.
Been a launch game.
It really should have been. I wanted to do a screenshot comparison to show that the 3D Ocarina,
upgraded.
They did drastically improve the fucking graphics on that thing. It's very noticeable.
Probably forgotten how old Ocarina looks.
Yeah, that'll be very cool.
Like brown.
Yeah, but just
can't get over the fact it's like this is a game that we've played like 4 or 5 times now across like 2-3 different systems.
No, but it looks really good now.
Yeah,
but how much are they going to charge for that?
Probably $40.
They will not charge for
that. Sure they will.
Yeah, I feel pretty sure.
But the thing is that they're also going to offer Virtual Console games. There's Game Boy games and Game Boy Color games.
All right, we'll get right back into piracy, fucking Nintendo. You do that kind of thing.
And then it's like, okay, so Super Mario Land. And I'm like, you know what? That is kind of cool. I would like to play Super Mario Land again, even though I have the game and a Game Boy. To have that and a handful of other Game Boy games.
Yes, that'll play the Game Boy.
At my command, that's kind of cool. And I'm not against legitimately giving Nintendo money for games that have already given me so much happiness. I'm fine with that.
I'm not against paying if there's some benefit for me.
They will overcharge that shit.
Yes.
They will not have any realistic sense of pricing. I know they won't, because it's Super Mario Land. Think about how basic that game is.
Yeah,
it's got to be like several kilobytes.
Yeah,
It's a great game, but it's one of the simplest games.
Like, that game is not worth more, like, today, as a digital download, a fucking $1. Like, $2 at the most. Like, they have to be realistic.
I just got an idea for an article.
I don't
can't
think
wait
they
to
will
do this. Anyway, the PSP 2 is about to be
and the PSP 2, which is rumored, which we'll hopefully know before we leave this fucking
I'm saying
podcast.
we should...
What time is it?
It's about 10 o'clock.
It's about 10 o'clock.
It's almost about to start in Japan. But,
the
like,
Sony press conferences never start on time.
yeah, they really don't. But, like, Sony, like, PSP 2, they're talking about it's going to have 3G. You'll be able to play games online anywhere in the fucking world that has 3G
I can
signal.
only imagine me and
Download
talking and like saying the word 3G back and forth. 3G?
Yeah.
3? What?
This is 3D.
3D?
No.
The Nintendo
But
DS 3G.
I, in a weird way, I feel like Sony has a chance here to actually flip-flop the
They got a
handheld
shot.
thing.
You said that last night, and that's why I thought this is fascinating to sit and watch, because I do feel like it is their time.
Because if they acknowledge, and I mean, granted, I'm not a fan of the PSP.
I was going to say, we said the same thing about the DS and the original PSP.
It's true.
No, I know.
did.
No, I know we did, but now we know what the DS had to offer, and I don't think the 3DS is doing that again. I think it's just making it a more powerful DS for $250.
And Sony's been kind of retarded by charging download prices that were way more than normal. But but at least they acknowledge if you're going to be on 3G, you need to be competitive with the rest of the market.
We also need to come up with something better than 3D and 2D to differentiate between like games that are in 3D versus polygonal games that are 2D. I hear 2D, I think like 2D sprites.
Yeah.
But now we should say...
I hear 2D Ocarina of Time. I think, what did somebody do, a demake?
It's RC Pro Am 3D.
But
Make of that what you will.
on one hand, I'm like, okay. One of the big criticisms when the article that I wrote was like, well, I don't want a Nintendo handheld that has 3G coverage, and I can see what my friends are doing and post it to Twitter and browse the internet and take pictures. But
I want an official virtual console.
But yeah, it's like, and it's to Nintendo's credit, the virtual console this time they'll let you transfer your DSiWare games to your 3DS. So
that's important.
That's acknowledging and hinting that that this new virtual console, the way they're going to have it work is that these things will be transferable to whatever the next device is. So they're at least thinking about that. But it's just it's not like I want a games console. Like, I would love a games console.
Describe it like it's a very Nintendo thing.
Yeah, it's like I would love a Nintendo and Sony handheld that just fucking played games. But both the DS in its many iterations, like the DSi and now the 3DS and the PSP, they try to turn them into multimedia machines. They take pictures, and you can browse the internet, and you can listen to MP3 files, and it does all of these things shitty as fuck. Or you could just get an iPhone, iPod, Android, Windows Phone, any fucking phone released in the last 3 years, and it will do all of those things better and make phone calls and play pretty okay games for a couple of bucks. And if all I'm doing is sitting on a bus or an airport, I don't pull out my DS anymore for that shit, because the DS...
All I've played is Kingdom Hearts, and I don't want to sit through 20-minute cutscenes, 40-minute load times while I'm on the go. It's fucking stupid.
So I end up playing Game Dev Story, Angry Birds, Infinity Blade, like just all the shit that's getting back to the idea of a handheld game of like, this needs to be fucking fast, man.
All right, Elson, speaking of fast, Sony's announcement is coming soon.
Should we take one more break?
We'll take one more break. We're going to come back, and we're going to tell you about the PSP 2. I'm making that sound like it's so exciting, but it's only because...
Well, we'll talk about the PSP 2. You probably already know.
We're excited.
Probably already know.
But we're going to react to it as we can, but it is Sony, and they'll probably dick around for fucking ever.
I don't know. I think this is their moment.
Time for some charts and graphs, and then...
First, we have to talk about how we've been expanding our lead in the global video game market, and
maybe
the PSP
maybe
sold
the Japanese won't put up with that
20
shit.
million.
All
There's
right.
20 million PSPs.
You've all been playing Little Big Planet 2, right?
Hi, this is Ryan McCaffrey from the official Xbox magazine's KOXM Radio. You're listening to TalkRadar.
Weasel News.
Residents of Los Santos are going bananas after a simian slipped past security and onto the streets yesterday. The 450-pound gorilla killed 4 people and has the city in fear. A mayor's office spokesperson held a press conference suggesting that the blame lay at the door of the company that published the popular 80s video game series Space Monkey. He called them monkey escape simulators and said they've been influencing apes for years.
Weasel News. This is Weasel News.
Hey, does anybody want to listen to the rest of this motherfucking podcast? Yeah!
Oh my God, I've already got something I want to start with.
What?
So we're
what? Segment 3, and Elston's already ready.
We're doing it live.
We're reacting to the live stream. We're staying at work. It's after 10, but already the Sony press conference. It's already starting like a typical Sony. Just the way the PS3 was announced, and we wanted to start by showing a vision of the future we had back in 2005. The video is kicking off. It's pretty thrilling. Wait, when images are linked to digital information, reality can be controlled. Reality becomes data. And the phrase reality becomes data is like their talking point, and it's like, get to the goddamn games. Stop it.
No. They have to blow smoke up your ass for a good 10 minutes.
You figure after E3 2006, they'd stop this song.
Now we have to
No, this is just their standard MO for press conferences.
Yeah.
A lot of what we envisioned back then has materialized in the daily lives of our users.
We have to get that on.
All right,
Does anybody know how do you want to do a separate article on fucking...
It's a cool price.
Yeah, so we'll do it Sunday. We'll figure something out. Look Sunday for Monday Night Combat stuff.
Yes.
And
I think that's a really cool prize.
We'll do it Sunday.
But we've got the 2 codes.
2 weekends giveaways.
Let's give away a code on the cast right now, or however we want to do it on the cast for the listeners. And then the Sunday article will be the hat that's signed, as well as another code.
All right. Well, I tell you what. Comment on the podcast. TalkRadar 136. Put in space at the bottom, MNC. Don't have to mention it. Just say that if you want that, then we'll figure out how to give you your prize if you want the prize.
Right.
Make it subtle. So if
we will choose one of you.
Let's just say if our bosses are reading our comments, they don't know that you're only there to comment for a prize.
Right.
And then we can do a podcast tomorrow.
Kazurai. Today I'd like to speak about a whole new world. The future that will one day become reality, which is why we must keep on coming up with new visions of the future and making them come true.
A whole new world? Don't you dare close your eyes. We're going to be doing 2 podcasts at once.
It's a mashup.
Oh, man.
Game deals.
Game deals. Why aren't they on my page? That's interesting. Hold on. I'm almost there.
All right.
Should we play the song again?
Yeah, I think we should. I think the song deserves to be heard again.
Take my advice, do as I say, save a little money for a rainy day.
I found them.
There we go.
All right.
Found them.
I was worried that song was going to have to signal the segment was over.
Speaking of Sony, the PSN is offering the 11 deals of 2011.
Yeah, it looks kind of cool.
It's a bunch of stuff that's 50% off, and part of that is Costume Quest, Spank Throngs of Virtue, Space Invaders Infinity Gem, a game I loved on the iPhone, and Motorstorm 3D Rift. Xbox Live is countering that horribly by offering 50% off, but a good game.
Content.
Content. Aqua and Hydrophobia are 50% off at $5.
I believe... Isn't Bioshock's Minerva's Den is also half off?
Who would ever care about that?
No, Minerva's Den for Bioshock 2 is actually the only good single-player DLC for that game.
Okay.
It's like a short story from the world of Bioshock. I wish they did more of those, but Minerva's Den is probably the only one.
Also on Xbox Live, Hydro Thunder Hurricane is 33% off, around $10.
That's all right.
Yeah.
You know what? Be it. Go through Amazon this week. Amazon Gran Turismo 5 is $44. Don't think of that as Amazon being gracious. More of Gran Turismo 5 sucking. Green Day Rock Band on 360 Plus is $33, free shipping, and they also have Watchmen End Is Nigh.
That's bad.
I know it's terrible, but it comes with a Blu-ray
of the movie.
Well,
for PS3, and this is $16.
Well, that's good.
That's good.
A bad game for $10. 2 bad games for $10. Whatever. New Egg. Oh, look at that. Gran Turismo 4, $44 free shipping. Devil May Cry 4, $360, and Dead Space 2 PS3 is $50.
That's pretty good.
$50, not bad.
I paid $55 for the 360 one on Amazon this week
without Dead Space Extraction.
Yep.
Wait, what was that again? I was reading the blog. What happened?
Dead Space 2 is $50 on PS3 on Newegg.
Motherfucker.
Sorry, buddy. Sorry.
It's not the collector's
Next time.
I just bought the collector's
You gotta wait
edition.
for game deals, man. I'll help you out.
I know, but I needed it.
Why don't you trust me?
Speaking of Dead Space Extraction and Newegg,
Sure.
I bought Dead Space Extraction for Wii on Newegg for $11 today.
Oh, that's nice.
If you want
On
some
Wii?
background, yeah, for Wii. Well,
no, I'm totally bored by that.
Nah, I don't want to buy a Move, man.
I see.
Also, I wanted to get background because the first Dead Space 2 DLC is going to be a side story that involves characters from Dead Space Extraction.
I wish you could see how smug Henry looked when he said that. He sort of leaned back and pointed to, well.
Did you know?
Well.
Well, I can say, having already played
Come on.
Dead Space Extraction.
Why would you argue with the hangster?
It's really Extraction's cool, man.
I'm sorry.
That's my new saying. Why would you? No, wait.
Why would you argue with the hangster?
Why would you argue with the hangster?
Give me a reason to play the Larry Sanders music again after the hangster. Also, Newegg 360 games, $9.99, possibly free shipping. Dead Rising, the original, new, Brutal Legend, MotoGP 10, Tropico, and Quantum of Solace, $9.99, not bad. For 360 games. Kmart, oh man, I have to read this closely. Mass Effect 2 for PS3. Buy Mass Effect 2 on PS3 and get another $60 game for 50% off. That's valid until the 12th of February.
All right.
And apparently it'll be on sale next week for $44, so and the same deal will apply. Buy a little bit of Planet 2 on PS3 and get another $60 game for 50% off. Buy Dead Space 2 for $60.
The emphasis in that Dead Space 2.
Dead Space 2 and get a 1,600-point XBLA points card or a $20 PSN card for free. But it doesn't matter what. That's what I thought was really cool. People tried it, and I can buy the PS3 version and get a free 360 1,600 points card. That's kind of cool. And this Sunday, Kmart will apparently. This is a great deal. God of War 3 and the God of War Collection for $39.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Together.
You haven't gotten it yet.
Also at Kmart, Sly Cooper this weekend, $29.99.
Ooh.
Yeah, and Play Asia, I love this one. Enslaved for PS3 and 360 for $16 to $20.
Huh. Yeah, that's a good deal.
I'm trying to include shipping. Play Asia, it might be. I'm sure it won't be region locked, but it might not be the American version. I realize
sell the American version.
I have the Quebec version of Back to the Future on standard DVD. Retour to the I don't know what it's called, but it's multilingual. Anyway, that I guess that was a game deal.
Do we have any updates?
We do.
What's that?
All right.
Save a little money for a rainy day.
So Sony said, the environment surrounding the world of portable gaming has undergone a radical transformation since the launch of the PSP.
Uh-oh.
There was a time the only way to play a game outside was to carry a portable gaming console like the PSP. Now smartphones, these phone devices are technically ready for PSP-like performance.
I see where he's creeping up.
And he says, today we are announcing PlayStation Suite.
PlayStation content for Android.
Is it the app?
It's apparently app, right? It's apparently an Android app.
A cross-platform, cross-device for Android phones and tablets. PlayStation Suite extends the PlayStation experience beyond the PSP, providing PlayStation content to other devices. This seems more like a integration thing and not a gaming.
Yeah. It's like the relaunch of the N-Gage or something.
Yeah.
So that's weird to me. Like, that's a pretty big thing to put on the Android.
I know. Well, it sounds
true.
It sounds more like what the Windows Phone 7 does with Xbox Live, but for Sony equivalent.
Wait, I have bigger news.
You think the Sony Suite will be on Windows Phone 7?
Bigger news. This is technically our community segment. The TalkRadar Wiki is 1 year old.
Oh, dear.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. Congratulations.
Turbo asked if I could give a shout out to people who updated. Forrest 22X, Just the Bowbreaker, Rabbit Cabbage, Creative Assassin, Grab Boys, Al Jolson, Star Platinum 98, Enlarged House Cats, Asher, Ginger Sama, Angry Scotsman, Hate Britter, and Claude is still going. All the good names for taking Bone Squad, Boxing Marco, K9, let me hear that, more clapping. K9, Unit TP, Lobster Hunt, 510 Brother Panda, Lava Lamp, Haikiba, Batman 11, A for Extreme, Mike P, MCC, Zero Havoc, Greener, Nighthawk, 25, or 205, Batman 5273, and of course, who could forget Turbo, who kind of initiated the thing of the zone. Turbo, you alone.
Thank you for the TalkRadar wiki. Without it, we wouldn't know what we've done.
Yes. I've had to consult it on a number of occasions to figure out what we've done. So last week we did a question of the week. Are you still applauding? Last week we did a question of the week.
Yep.
And it was, what game company would you like to work for?
Yep.
And I'm going to just start out with Turbo.
Well, Brett was the only one who wasn't here. I want to hear Brett's answer.
Yeah, let's let him look at the blog, the live feed.
It's going to emulate first-gen PS1 games.
Yeah!
Well, that sounds pretty cool. On an Android?
Yes, yeah.
I-Ninder.
I can't wait to play Metal Gear Solid with the touchpad.
Legendary original PlayStation content.
All right.
But I mean, it overlays digital D-pad and digital R1, L2, and all that stuff.
Wait a minute. Digital
What do you want
R1
from me?
and
Give me the applause
R2.
button.
No. Look at this screenshot. It's like there's the D-pad with the buttons and the R1 and L1 buttons all over it.
It's terrible. That's so busy.
Yeah, that's complicated.
I mean, I know those are like the games are 4x3 anyway, so you've got black space.
Yeah.
But man, shoulder buttons that are for your index finger are now going to be. Are you supposed to have like your thumb and your index finger set up like L, like a loser?
It'll look like you're holding
the
the PlayStation 2 phone like a Ouija board, like the same way you put your fingers like.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Our question of the week last week was obviously the answer wasn't Sony, but what game company would you like to work for? Yep. Turbo said, "I want to be a TalkRadar historian and fact checker."
That's win. What you are.
Yes,
not for money.
Yo-Yo Guy. Michael's a honker muppet right now. Yo-Yo Guy said Team Meat. They because they don't take no shit from nobody.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Man put in BioWare. I want to be a proofreader. That's it. I just want to sit there and triple check scripts of their games. Seems fun. TalkRadar. I would like to work at Activision because you know me. I love money and I can't think of a better place to be around people like me.
They fire a lot of people though.
That's true.
Hey, speaking of, we didn't even talk about how your favorite developers, Junction Point, had a lot of layoffs this week.
Not really. Like Disney Interactive had 200 layoffs, and that might have included the shuttering of an entire studio of 150 people.
Junction Point did lose people, though. I know this. Like
what games do Disney have coming out right now?
Nothing. Yeah,
nothing.
I know, yeah.
So it's probably PR people who are brought on third party and aren't.
I'm just saying, aren't you like?
It's not as bad as you think.
Warren Spector. I read a thing that Warren Spector wouldn't comment because he was too bothered by the people being fired.
No, it wasn't Warren Spector. I know what you're talking about. Don't you dare spit that hyperbole.
All right.
And try and make me sad about it. It was their spokesman, not Warren Spector.
Okay.
All right. 510 Brother Panda, company he'd like to work for. If I could, and my efforts in the company would induce change, I would work for Tecmo, if only to turn down or off the misogyny and over-sexualization that ruined Other M for me and many others.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Amten had a better response. I had it shortened, but he's getting a degree in astrology, and he wants to be a scientific consultant on sci-fi games.
I think he means astronomy.
Astronomy. What did I say? Astrology?
Yeah, astrology.
Well, it's all changing, Elston. Someone's got to be there.
Astrology became astronomy.
It's fluid.
It's going to be there. In Soviet Russia, dates recall Brett Elston said, I'm going to have to go with either Sucker Punch, so that I can make sure Sony promotes the shit out of Sly 4, because they owe them for not promoting Sly Collection, or either Naughty Dog for Uncharted's Big Race, which I thought was hysterical. The Uncharted kart racing game, which we all know is coming.
Yep.
Chrono Man 66, as a trained 3D modeler, actively applying to get into the industry right now.
He actually has skills, unlike us.
Yeah, it's for any job I can get. But dream jobs would be Bungie, Epic, or BioWare. They're all such great, consistent developers that always give a visual flair and a polish to their games. The winner for me is Epic, though. I owe so much to my skills as a level designer, level 3D designer, to the Unreal Engine. And to work for that company that created that engine would be working at that cutting edge would be a serious job fulfillment. Enlarged Tortoise said, HAL Labs, wouldn't it be awesome to help think of new ideas for the next Smash Brothers or Kirby game? Or fucking Earthbound! And you get a dramatic. Why not an Earthbound? New Earthbound. Loving my PS3. I wanted to tell him this might conflict. This would have conflicted totally. Do you have something else to say?
I would like to point out that some of the games they showed on the list of PS1 games is that they brought up on the screen behind them. I don't know if this is games that are already on PSN or what, but the fact they're highlighting these suggests these will be part of the Android thing. Got Wild Arms.
Yeah, wow.
Rallycross, which I actually enjoyed. It's a racing game. Cool Borders 2, who cares? Siphon Filter, and Medieval.
Man, why do you gotta leave that series alone?
Next Generation Portable. We're mentioning it.
Uh-oh.
Codename is NGP.
Nintendo Game Phone?
Yes!
Love my PS3, company he wants to work at. I would love in my PS3. Bear that in mind. I would love to work for Valve as an art guy. It's almost like if you love your PS3 that much, you would never be able to work with Valve if not for last E3.
Oh, they're good friends now.
No, now they're great friends. But thinking of environments and character designs and stuff, it'd be awesome to be a part of making a new environment in Half-Life, a cool atmospheric campaign for Left 4 Dead. I'd have so much fun designing post-apocalyptic wherever for Left 4 Dead 3 in characters and weapons and stuff. Visuals are important to me, and I think it would be great to be a part of that, especially with a company like Valve that is so good at conveying atmosphere. Agreed. Strangle Me wants to work at Rockstar because he thinks their music is amazing, and he wants to be a composer because music is life.
They are in New York.
Yeah.
They are. Strangle Me. They're right next to you. So walk up in there. Yo, 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 yo! Apollo Mask. Maybe a motion capture specialist at Treyarch. I like that he specified the job and the place.
Yeah, it's
any chance to hurl myself around a room dressed in ping pong balls, I'm for it. Ramination. I like this response. I feel like this is being missed by just naming game companies that make good games. You know where would be a really fun place to work? Fucking Telltale Games. They get all the best properties, and you know what I'd be? Reference researcher for their properties. I'd be the guy who mines all the baddest properties they get and come up with good places and times for someone to say them. In the Jurassic Park game, if someone makes a Unix joke, it would be my job to put it there.
I may have to play that Jurassic Park game.
I've met with I've actually had drinks once with that dude who works at Telltale, and he does enjoy his job.
Attaboy, Hank.
Yep.
Way to almost name drop.
Well, his name is Seg.
You don't need it. You don't need it.
I'm saying nice things about him. He's a nice person who likes his job. I have no interesting, juicy gossip
I like this
about
one.
him.
This is a letter from Token Girl STFU,
Huh.
our only confirmed girl listener.
Yep.
Dear BioWare, I know that your time is valuable, being the gods of the Western RPG, and your time should be dedicated to making your symphonies of technology. Why waste your time with cooking or doing laundry, whether there are fans that would do that for you? I am such a fan that I would love to do those things for you.
What?
If you happen to find a lovely little note about the direction of a dialogue tree or oh man's thin, take it as a note from an angel and go with it. Yours truly, Token Girl STFU. I don't want to propose to her right now, but let's wait until later podcast.
So they're saying now
She had to set laundry.
They're saying now that
laundry was part of it.
They're showing a video for a new handheld, some kind of device, and it says the tagline is "Play Life," and there's leaderboards, messaging, and avatars. Quote, "The power is in your hands." That's Nintendo's line.
Wait a minute.
According to the rundown from Kotaku,
Because the power's in your hand.
The video is like a guy materializing a basketball on a bus.
Creeping through with an overhead view.
Yeah.
Oh, dual analog sticks, yo.
Damn.
McWhirter.
Oh, I said it.
Dual analog sticks.
Oh wow! I officially care a little more than about the 3DS already.
Finally got it. Dual analog sticks.
Wow! Is that it?
Turn it around.
That can't be it. That looks like a mock-up. It looks like the PSP with 2 analog sticks.
Yeah, it does actually.
Yeah, and Engadget's like it looks like the PSP. Yeah,
and actual
That's it?
analog sticks, not analog nubs.
it seems really hard to get those buttons.
I can't really tell.
Seems like
I expected them to
No,
do
they
more.
look like sticks. They're less. They're bigger than nubs.
No, they do look like sticks. They really do. Yeah, they don't look like nubs at all.
Interesting.
Wow. Ooh, with a touchpad on the back.
All right. Keep looking at
Touchpad
that.
on
That
the
can
back.
work.
Stahlbrand said, I would love to work at Bethesda Game Studios in the position of producer on the Quest team. I don't want to write the lore, and he's named Stahlbrand. I want
Six-axis controls.
I want to actualize it into Quest, and more than that, I want to refine and polish the Quest as they are put together. I flatter myself with the notion that I had the talent of refining ideas and a solid grip on game flow. I love the work they do. Their experience to game design is meshes almost perfectly with my ideal game experience. I'm a huge fan of Elder Scrolls as well as their take on Fallout. Don Nazi said, I am aiming to be a 3D animator, so that would be my position choice. I'm thinking Bungie Irrational Games. That's just because I really like their games. I just wanted to say Don Nazi. New users, Pessimist Prime, Soren 7550, Billy effing fucking Maze, bitch ass Afro-Blam American Tista. He said, what company would he like to work for? Which company makes Rayplay again? Sure. Waterboy Bullets Chase. I thought this is my favorite new username, Straight to Video. Just awesome.
Ooh, that's nice.
Well, then it was overcome by I may be dumb, but I'm not stupid enough to get 14 Zelda tattoos. That became my favorite.
Brett's not laughing.
Not reacting. He probably didn't hear. He's trying to do his job or devoid of a sense of humor. Autoerotic Asphyxiation, whose avatar picture is David Carradine. Zixor, Deadly Dan Scott, Smooth Skin, like it.
Yep.
Like it. Do we have any new PlayStation?
Kalsarai holding one up. Its high resolution is 960 by 544. It has a 5-inch screen, an OLED screen. This thing's going to be fucking expensive.
What's OLED?
Yeah. OLED.
Yes, but what does that mean?
LED is the...
No, I know what LED means. What's OLED?
Obviously.
Somebody else answer Michael,
okay.
because anything I said wasn't good enough.
It means it's a fucking nice screen. I don't know what it technically means.
Okay.
What does the iPhone 4 have? Is that an OLED?
With Brett too.
Is that an OLED?
What?
Is iPhone 4 an OLED?
Fucking fine.
Because it's a noticeably better screen.
Retina display is the
actual
buzzword I've heard thrown
thumbsticks,
around.
not little nubs, front and rear cameras, touchpads on the front and the rear.
Touchpad on the front and the rear.
Yeah,
Its resolution. There's no screen on the rear. It's just a touchpad.
I'm
will
sure
do
it's
stuff
a
on the screen.
I'm sure it's a screen.
Now, why are there screens on both sides? But that's
Flash-based.
crazy. Flash-based.
2 screens on a handheld. That's crazy, Henry.
On the
Flash
back
memory
of it.
based.
Oh, okay.
Not like Macromedia.
And I was like, they're developing games
Adobe
with Flash.
Flash.
This does sound expensive.
Uses flash cards for games like SD cards, but it does have a, like Engadget's pointing at, it has a curve to it that suggests it's a proprietary format.
And it has 3G and Wi-Fi.
It does have 3G Wi-Fi support.
Out this holiday.
Oh,
really?
In Japan, I guess.
Yeah, probably.
What do you think the 3G is? I'm not asking.
Well, there's a support. Japan, they've already named their carrier, and in the U.S. would need to be Verizon or AT&T or Sprint or something. But you can. They said you can play games, download shit, like just
I could
3G
be wrong,
anywhere.
But
I mean, you can play that shit.
Wild got a Kindle that has 3G access, and it doesn't need a specific carrier. It just doesn't download a lot of information, so it can upload. It can attach to anything.
There's only so many people. I mean, there's only so many people who have 3G. Networks to piggyback on, so
yes,
it's possible. I mean, the Kindle is,
The new question of the week comes from Lando81, and if you can all avoid the PlayStation for a little bit, what is the funniest glitch you've encountered in a game? And
mine is. I know mine.
I've only started because Matt, Charlie, and I were fapping Bulletstorm, and Matt went to go grab a weapon and got stuck in a crevasse.
Saw that.
Horrible. Could not move, and then I start Fallout and like, what's in this gas station? I'm going to jump in this truck. There's a window up there. Like that would normally be where an item is because it's right next to a sunroof. Jump in this truck, stuck. All my progress ruined. Start that all over again. Like fuck you. Like why would that ever be acceptable? Like anybody would come up to the gas station. In fact, I went to talk to the saloon, and I have to talk to a guy in the gas station several minutes later. If it's that easy to get stuck, grr.
Well, I mean, my recent one, the glitchy game I played most recently that's in my memory is Red Dead.
Yeah, the flying horse.
Yeah, flying horse. So there was one time where my horse just kind of like landed on the ground, but didn't die, but inverted the camera and the screen turned all red. And that was really weird. But also I couldn't finish Undead Nightmare because it just stopped working. Like it
really?
That is pretty funny.
I went to a cutscene and it would not start. Sorry, I can't think of any really funny ones.
Well, what's weird is
there are bad ones.
The idea of funny glitches was not really part of console gaming until the
disc and hard drive.
Really, I mean, you could still get them in PS2 era for sure, but I mean, prior to that, it was like a sprite game either kind of worked or it didn't. Like it was either functional or you just clipped everywhere. Like that didn't exist really. The funniest one for me that I've said this before, but it was the first Dead Space. Like all those physics engines and all that shit that they buy and license instead of making themselves, and everyone just waits for the next Unreal or Havoc or PhysX or whatever the fuck they all are. They just wait for those updates, and then they build out a not a proprietary version, but like they customize Havoc or Unreal a little to their tailored specifications. But fucking Dead Space, just like Gears, does that thing where you kill something and it suddenly has no weight, and it's flimsy, and it's just this like lifeless, weightless thing in the shape of a locust or a giant monster or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in the first Dead Space, I just cracked my ass up. Like, you get off that train, there's some girl like laying there dying right off the train, and she's like, Isaac, you have to go ahead. Something crazy happened, and oh my god, and no, I can't go on. It's too terrible. And it's like really building up the suspense in the moment. Like, the lights are flickering, and the game is still new, so you don't really know yet what's going to happen. You don't know how fucked up shit's going to get. You just know something really crazy is going on. And you're not armed well. It's early on. You're not equipped for a fucking fight.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Hang on. You're going to ruin my punchline. And then she dies. But because she dies, the physics engine kicks in. And now, her arms just go... like a fucking deflating balloon, and like she just starts spinning in place, and I'm like, whoa, really? You flip a switch and object in space, and go, Michael.
Uncharted.
What?
On NGP.
What?
I
want to see this right now.
Apparently they're playing it right now.
I see a picture of Nathan Drake jumping. Reality
all
Fighters.
makes for fascinating podcast.
Oh, there's also a Killzone for it as well.
Hey, you're the one who wanted to
all right.
talk about this thing.
Go back to that Killzone. I want to see how good that looks.
Well, it's awfully blurry.
Yeah,
there's no way to tell on these pictures. Yeah, they're playing some kind of Uncharted as well.
You guys do
Uncharted, man.
Michael, any funny glitches?
Just the only thing that comes to mind is the swing set glitch from GTA 4, which we documented in detail.
Oh, fuck. Yeah,
it's just insane that this even exists in the world. That, like, if you walk up to any swing set in GTA 4, I forget if you have to do this in free roam. I think you can do it in single player. But if you either drive your car up or just walk up, it will launch you the fuck into the air.
Yeah. Like, it takes
like
a couple
hundreds
seconds.
of feet.
Like, you have to anger the swing set.
Yeah, like you get the chain swinging, and then it just does something where it swings around and it just thwaps you, and you go flying.
Yeah, it's like it would shoot cars several blocks in the air.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like and just come down and smash into a gas station. Everything explodes and crazy.
No, we should try to embed that video in the article in the page.
Yeah, we totally
should. That shit's hilarious.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah, Chris is totally listening.
Yeah.
What you doing, Chris?
If Uncharted is the launch game, I'll buy that PSP at launch. I never bought a PSP before.
Yeah, I think we detailed that in a bunch of glitches in an article called "Daddy's Back, You Glitches."
Oh yeah,
referencing the first line. It's like Grand Theft Radar, "Daddy's Back, You Glitches."
I remember that.
Keep looking at PlayStation.
Phone call number
What up,
1.
TDar?
Hang on, wait.
What?
1-877-404-1337. Extension is FAP or DAR.
Podcast, Time to Legend forums. I don't know. Lately, it's just been happening a lot. I don't know if it's game related, but my hobby has been like carrying off like any girl I've tried to like get with or like try to get a girlfriend.
Your hobby?
So, like, I was hoping if you guys tell me if you ever had any like moments where like women just checked you or like didn't even want to interact with you or a gamer or like your hobby game. I hope I get some answer. If not, can you at least mirror me with like something?
No.
I don't know. I don't mean to sound so depressed, but like I'm really just kind of hung up about this.
I get it.
No woman has ever rejected me because I am a paragon of manhood and awesome, and they just recognize that.
Not everybody had that beard at 14. That's not fair. Like once my gaming hobby comes to light, once I'm comfortable enough to bring that up to a woman, I always lose them.
Yeah.
But until then, like, let me be clear about this. While I was the PlayStation 1 through PlayStation 2, I was fucking everybody or everything. But like one night is okay. You meet them at a bar or a party. Be doing that as well, and nothing takes the sting off of breakup like a lot of meaningless sex. So do that too.
For me, it was KOTOR. That seemed to help.
Seemed to help your sex life?
Not my sex life. It just helped me take my mind off the sex life.
No, I've never found a good balance with relationships and
Well,
games.
I mean, you know, you guys have people that put up with it now, and Brett, and like, you know, Carolyn's.
You can talk about your mom.
Carolyn
if you
likes
want.
video games.
I don't really hit on girls until I've gotten a chance to get to know them a little bit. So I think it's going to be a sure thing.
I don't hit on girls until not only Michael but me. I've got one finger has to be inside, and then like I have to call Michael across the room. Hey! And then once he has his finger in, it's like, well, she can't leave. It's like she's tethered by a Ghostbuster beam.
I think it is like fourth date information, though, or something you don't want to start off by saying, oh, I really like video games. Like, maybe talk about what books you like first, or what films you saw.
Or, rattle it off casually.
But it's more a part of dating is how you're reacting to the world around you. Like, what do you think? Like, you don't have to talk about Justin Bieber. What do you think of him?
Mm-hmm.
That's date conversation.
What did you think of the State of the Union
Dude,
address?
did you hear the State of the Union address? Not like, you seen Christmas Story, Hank?
Yeah.
Not like, I like Santa. Like, that's how you come across if you just bring up your interest. I mean, I like Santa.
That's perfect.
I like Santa.
I like those.
I like video games.
Yeah, and generally asking questions and letting them talk about themselves.
No, I wasn't even going there. But
I'm saying that's what fucking works.
It does
also,
work.
Very key thing that's worked for me time and time again is feigned disinterest.
Feigned disinterest?
Feigned disinterest.
All
If
right.
you think the girl is even somewhat into you and she comes and responds in any kind of way, you don't be a dick about it and be like, pop off, bitch, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You don't do that, but you act aloof yourself, even though you're secretly like, fuck. You act like you're better and that you're the catch, but not in a douchey way, because they will sniff that douche right out of you.
I gotta write this down.
And that worked every single fucking time. You just act like...
Oh, and as I'm looking at my body right now in this shirt, also don't be fat. That helps as well. With women, mainly.
Hey, TDar.
I heard last week you wanted to have sex with a dude.
Gamer, and I just wanted to say
Not a
thanks
dude,
for
dudes.
providing countless hours of entertainment and
I think you
something
can
to
count
do
the hours.
while I do my homework, or like just play a boring video game like Lost Planet 2 or Dark Void.
Boring.
I just wanted to thank you for that.
Sure.
And also, speaking of homework, does anyone know the formula for the volume of a sphere?
Oh, I used
Thank
to.
you, Michael
For a
Raparez,
sphere.
for coming to the Key Park.
Ah, you wish I failed geometry, motherfuckers.
Red
Yeah!
Yeah! On the Muppets Party Cruise.
Geometry is I'm a very honor-driven person, and geometry is the only class in high school I cheated the fuck out of.
You know what fucked me up? Proofs.
Yeah, proofs.
Yeah,
Fuck
proofs are bullshit.
When I got to proofs in geometry, I was like, no.
2 plus 2 is 4. We understand this. I don't have to explain to you why it is that.
Luckily, my geometry teacher broke his leg and was also morbidly obese and smelled like he took showers in butts, like a horrible odor. And everyone was like, kind of
He miscalculated the trajectory of food.
But like
He had some. Even say trajectory.
He had something where like people knew he was known in the school, like he was like on paper a genius. He just didn't give a fuck.
I was one of those.
Yeah, and I walked up like every day. Got your homework? Yep. And I used the same sheet of paper all year and would like literally go behind my back with the same sheet of paper. He's like, you have assignment 1A? Yep, right here. And 1B? Yeah. And just around my back, there's 1B. He wouldn't look at you. And everyone did this in the class because like, what the fuck is geometry? So he just goes down a box, ticks in his notebook like, yeah, okay, cool. All right, peace. And I got a C. I guess he just decided that was what I should get.
Might not be possible in the digital age.
Yeah, that I don't know how you fool that.
Any
Email
updates since Uncharted?
Next phone call.
The French podcast. We've always been celebrated for it. There is a Californian podcast. GamesRadar.com, inspired by the same French accents released every Friday.
Wow.
Top 7 lists authentic games journalism and the finest of community segments.
Clever.
TalkRadar, only at GamesRadar.com, the official website of the internet.
Clever. Wow.
Very clever.
And what I love the most about that is how staticky it sounds. It sounds like a World of Worlds address.
Well, that beep was his. Like, he ran out of minutes, like, the second he was over with that.
So, slight update. When they were playing Uncharted on the phone, or on the PSP, whatever this fucking thing is called, there was a mix of using the touch screen on the front and the analog sticks to, like, get Drake over vines and through vines and stuff.
Apparently, like, running fingers down the back of the machine got him down the
yeah.
Well, I didn't like the way the iPhone did that, but yeah, that makes total fucking sense.
And like it looks like the HUD. It doesn't look like a cross media bar anymore. It looks like
XMB.
It looks like spheres that you can touch and fling, and they bring these over here. And I'm not watching the video, so I don't know. But that's what the picture tells me.
We'll know tomorrow.
You'll all know by the time you hear.
Hey, this is your hiatus from the forums. I just wanted to say that my girlfriend is actually a very avid gamer, as I am.
Congratulations.
She should register on the forums.
And the main problem that we we end up having, instead of me trying to suck her into video games.
Whoa, that's not what I thought that was
when the game
going.
we're both looking forward to comes out. Like, we are going to have to actually work out a schedule for who's going to play Skyward Sword and when.
Huh.
And whenever someone's out of the house, that'll probably be it, because I don't want to see her play it, and she doesn't want to see me play it. So, hey, everyone's got their problems, right?
I know, it
so
sucks.
love the show, keep up the good work, and Chris, I'm glad to hear you changed the TalkRadar motto. If any of you get that, send me a private message.
I can suggest something crazy here. Get 2 copies of the game, 2 Wiis and 2 TVs to play them on, and then put them back to back.
Coming from a true person in Sony's pocket.
Oh, yeah.
Like, only that person would recommend the $800 solution.
Well, you know, that story is strikingly similar to a girl we all know. Let's not name her, but anyway, her boyfriend was
Jade Raymond.
They were both playing Twilight Princess, starting it up. She really wanted to play it more, but he didn't want her to play without him there, and he didn't want her to go past him. It's getting screwed up. Anyway,
because he's an asshole.
But she kept playing because she wants to play the new Zelda, and then he got frustrated with that and didn't want her getting ahead on his save, so he actually bought her a whole new TV so she could play at her house the Zelda game, so he wouldn't see ahead of the game. And then also the guy never beat the game.
When I talk to her, that guy's an asshole. He's also a genius, especially if he bought her own house.
Does he also not
too.
wash like the geometry teacher?
It sounds like my geometry teacher. You'd know what I want.
The same person.
You don't want to fucking.
Oh, it's on Geometry Wars.
Like,
Next phone call.
Carolyn and I had that problem with Mass Effect 2 because she'd finished 1 and 2 came out, and it was kind of like,
You actually did buy a second TV and a 360.
Yeah, it finally descended into, look, we have another room. It's very small, but let's put another TV in there. And let's get a cheap Xbox so you can play and have your own gamer tag.
Let's make sure to buy it 3 weeks before the redesign.
Motherfucker. And then 3 weeks later, here's the S version that's smaller, quieter, and has all the shit fixed that you hate about
the Final Fantasy Xbox.
Yes.
It's times like these that I am very glad that my wife is a person who I had to convince very gradually that I was not crazy into games when we started, and it would not be a problem. And by the time she found out I was lying, it was too late.
That's right.
That's love.
That's how you do it. That was the good advice right there.
Yeah, you don't bring up games the first date, the first few dates,
first year.
You just
don't bring up the things you do compulsively.
Yeah, I mean, like, me being a fucking huge nerd ass with Zelda Tattoo #1 already never once prevented me from getting laid. Not a single time was it like, oh my god, you fucking nerd playing game. Like, no, it's probably just the way you're behaving.
This is one of the things I love about women, and I totally understand it. Your biggest passions will be what they love about you eventually, but will be the first thing to turn against you a year later.
Yes.
Dude, he's totally into Zelda and has Zelda tattoos, and like, this fucking Zelda shit, when is it going to end? When is it going to end? That's cut to 1 year later. And yes, it hasn't happened to you ever because you're flawless and women never break up with you.
That's not true.
But
Zelda broke up a relationship.
It is. Wind Waker ended one for me.
The Wind Quaker.
Hey guys, this is Obsidian Chow, and if any of you play Minecraft, I wanted to let you know that we have once again erected the giant penis in the TalkRadar Minecraft server.
What? I forgot about that.
Beta came out, but there's once again a large throbbing wave
Picker didn't
watching
happen.
over us and protecting us from those pesky creatures.
That really throbbing.
Okay, guys, later. Keep good work on the podcast.
Reminds me to plug TDar Saturday, which we jump in on an occasion.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I'm very surprised at how well people have handled that without us even asking or helping. But it's so fucking cool every time it happens.
That is really cool.
This PlayStation, they're showing the main screen.
Sure.
And it's got all these little spheres that you would tap on, and this seems to suggest that you're going to be downloading a lot of these games because Uncharted is its own sphere, Hot Shots Golf next, Little Deviants, those are all 3 games, and they're all their own.
And there's no UMD slot.
Oh, there isn't?
No.
Oh, so their own, it may just be digital games only? But then there's also messages right there on the top, which suggests some kind there is called Live Area, which is so fucking Sony, a game-oriented communication platform. Fancy!
Does it have home?
But friends list, friends list right there, photos, and it's got a 3G signal in the corner. I don't know.
How do I do the chunky salsa in a bowling alley?
I don't know. This thing looks like it's much more fucking aware of 2011 2011 than the 3DS. I'm sorry.
All right.
Yeah, so far.
We will keep up.
I'm waiting on that price point. I bet they're not even going to announce the price point.
I bet you they won't.
If it's a holiday release, well, I mean, Nintendo didn't do it at E3 when it was less than a year away from launch.
They could eat their balls, and I'll still buy it if it's cheaper than 3DS.
It will not be that cheap. I bet you.
What did the PSP launch at?
$250.
$250.
Yeah. This thing has way more fucking functionality.
Yeah, but it has less hardware.
3D, all those touchscreens, man.
It's all software based. It doesn't cost anything to copy those programs.
But it looks like he's going to be a lot more powerful than a DS too.
It's more powerful.
This is a different era.
They're saying PS3 level graphics.
They're not PS3 level, according to what people are watching, but they're still very good.
All right. Next phone.
Hey, TalkRadar. It's Faze on 117, and I just wanted to give a little personal thanks to Chris for coming on G&A-FM for about 20 minutes on his iPhone in a pizza joint. We really appreciate it. Also, I've been kind of wondering what's been happening with Hank's Corner. It's like,
what? You haven't been doing those?
One of my favorite semi-hosts because he's so passionate about everything he does. And I just want to get his thoughts on a lot of different things. Thanks. Love the show. Bye.
Oh, the general consensus of Hank's Corner is boring. No, I'm just kidding. But,
well, it's hard to, I don't know. I still feel angry about things, but I never really... We don't take the time to set up outside. Now that
you just don't want to. Like, neither of us want to do it anymore. Like, hey, come in a room. Like, I don't have the time. Me neither. Let's not do it.
And by the time, I'm like, oh, I'm so incensed about this. Well, can we do a thing about it?
Can you pretend to be mad again?
Well, no, then I just feel depressed that I have no time to record, and so that replaces the anger.
That was great. This is, if you're following me on Twitter, I'm sorry if I'm reiterating this, but if it weren't for my girlfriend, I wouldn't know anything about football. Took me to the semi-final. I don't even know what the fuck to call
playoffs.
The playoffs.
There you go.
With two Midwestern fat fuck teams. They're representing teams of fat fucks. I'm just saying.
Steelers and
the Bears and
Chicago.
Bears.
And Wisconsin.
Right. Yeah.
Like a bunch of fat, horrible people cheering for them. Like not caring about their loss of industry.
Such as your girlfriend, who is cheering for them. Careful.
Whatever. She's from the area. She doesn't know what else to do. Even I get a little fucking moist when like Atlanta Braves got the playoffs, and then San Francisco Giants beat them. Like, well, I live here. I don't know what to do. I used to, but I went and got
riot. Clearly,
I got bottomless mimosas all day, drank, and then these guys asked if I'd be in their podcast, and something fucked up. And I'm like, well, call me when I'm downstairs. And I went downstairs to get pizza at Extreme, where we're going after this.
Yep.
And I got a little slice of pizza and a beer, and they forgot my order. Kept drinking. They gave me another beer. Like, I'm sorry about your order. Here's another beer. I'm like, well, for 20 minutes later, where's my order? I'm sorry. Here's another beer. 20 minutes later, I'm sorry. Here's another beer. And then I'm like, well, fuck you guys. You got Wi-Fi. So I start podcasting in the middle of this restaurant. Like, yeah, fuck, 3DS is all fucking homos and shit. And yeah, I said it, everybody. And totally drunk and stupid. Like, if you can find G&A, I don't even know if they finished it yet. But that was Phase On. Next phone call.
Hello, TalkRadar. Lombardi. I'm his long lost brother. Glenn Lombardi. Duke, where are you? Never hear from you anymore. Call Mom sometime, okay? Bye.
Do love.
Oh, hey, there's Duke Lombardi there. Oh, no, he just went home. All right, bye.
Hey, TalkRadar. It's sarcastic irony from Forum. I'm just calling to thank you guys for your podcast. Right now, the power's out, and I'm studying for my math exam, and doing free cal fuck bitch. So,
tell me.
Thank you for making your remarkable podcast. Keep doing it. I hope you guys have, a trillion more shows, and have a good day. See ya.
What the hell is that?
What pressure?
Can someone calculate what date it would be for TalkRadar 1 trillion?
You're the date master.
I can't do math. I can't go ahead. It hasn't happened yet.
It has to happen.
Yes.
I remember DC Comics did a storyline where they made all their comics 1 million.
Yeah, I remember
And then the storyline took place in the 83rd century because that's when Action Comics would hit issue 1 million.
Wow.
Damn.
Howdy, TalkRadar. It's Apollo Mask from Zekfuck. I wanted to let you know that I have a quick question. What are your thoughts on silent protagonists? I
Love
think
'em.
that personally, when done well, like with Gordon Freeman or Isaac Clarke, they can be pretty engrossing. But I
like Isaac Clarke better when he
like,
talks.
what do you think makes a good silent protagonist versus a bad one? Oh, by the way, Chris, for a while before I actually knew what you looked like, I labored under the impression that you were a copy of Desmond Miles. Just throwing that out there.
It's better than what I look like, but it's very close to what it looked like actually, like a giant nose.
Who?
With like no hair.
Assassin's Creed. Desmond.
Yeah, I think I do look a little like Desmond. That
Maybe
could
a
pass.
little bit. Maybe a little
Hey,
bit.
leave Schreiber.
That could pass. Yeah. Really ugly, but
No, Lee Schreiber has a rugged handsomeness to him.
he does for a man who's 90, and I look just like him. So it's wonderful.
He's maybe in his early 40s.
I forgot what he asked, but it was
silent protagonist. How do we feel?
Silent protagonist. Gordon Freeman, amazing. Mario is a silent protagonist. Sorry.
No, he always goes woohoo wee wolf.
Yeah,
pickles.
he shouts when he
Wolf
jumps,
pickles.
but he never fucking says anything ever.
Yeah, well, same thing with Link. It's always. So
Mario does say it's a me, Mario.
I've heard Mario say, "Welcome, new galaxy."
And there's also that gibberish he speaks in the Mario RPGs.
All your favorite protagonists are silent. Who's not? Sonic now.
I'm tired of Silent.
Him. You hate loud Sonic.
Marcus Phoenix.
Sonic talks all the time now.
I'm saying, but like you loved
In the past.
he's loved from being
I liked
silent.
him when he was
So
silent.
if we hold up Gordon Freeman as representative of all mute protagonists and Sonic the Hedgehog as representative of all talking protagonists,
No, but he's
clearly
been both.
mute protagonists are better.
In this day and age, you can't have mute guys anymore. It gets in the way of the story.
It's harder to do mute. I mean, it makes sense for something that's so gameplay driven like Mario. It's like I don't give a fuck what Mario thinks, but like Red Dead Redemption is about a character.
Because one, I don't give a shit, and two, most games don't handle story as well as Rockstar does in Red Dead Redemption, and so anything they do say makes me cringe for like miles.
Well, but I meant, like I mentioned earlier, comparing Dead Space to Dead Space 1, like there were times Isaac should have talked but didn't. And they didn't overdo it and make him like saying one-liners going like, "Oof, that was a close one."
I
He
can
doesn't
say
shit
playing
like
Kid
that.
Icarus Uprising for 3DS, that fucker doesn't shut up. It's constant.
Really?
It's either him or Platunia or whatever her name is.
It's sad that we once wanted Nintendo game characters to talk. And
That's
now
the mother
they
brain.
do.
My mother brain.
Mother brain.
Gibbo, execute this plan flawlessly.
Does anyone remember what Eggplant Wizard talked like?
What? I hired a retarded boxer to pull this off, and they did not. Mama Brain is upset. How's that supposed to happen? A red captain in the game master.
Oh, God. Eggplant Wizard was like a
retarded boxer is sending in vegetables. Dims my henchman.
Who wears a crown and has blue skin and has giant nipples.
The mother brain wears eyeshadow. It is the same voice as
Audrey 2.
Audrey 2.
The guy from the Four
What's his nut?
Tops.
From the Four Tops, yes.
Any updates?
Oh my god.
Hold on.
They're just talking about online shit right now.
Hey, TalkRadar. It's Eric, a.k.a. that PC Gamer intern that was on episode 1.
I know you.
Not actually on the forum, so maybe you won't even play the call. I'm just,
No, you beatless.
I'm bored driving down the road. You know, missing my days at the office. And I was just curious. Heard some of the comic talk on the last episode, and I was just wondering, who's your guys' favorite superhero, comic hero, whatever? Mine's probably Thunderbird, who is a X-Men who lasted 2 comics, and then everyone hated him.
What a loser.
That's my favorite drink. Thunderbird or Eric?
No, Thunderbird.
So yeah.
I'd pick Warpath over Thunderbird. At least he was a successful Native American mutant in that he lived for more than 2 issues. But I don't really feel like I can answer this. I don't know enough about comics.
Yes, continue your smugness.
All right, so
jerk.
anyway, Spider-Man's always my number one.
Yeah, I know.
Number 2, it's between The Thing and Batman, but I feel like saying Batman is so cliche, but Batman is super awesome. Batman,
Well, there's a reason some of these characters lasted for longer than a lot of lifetimes. So.
Yeah, I know, but I want to be different and not say Batman. Everybody loves Batman because Batman's really cool. And then
You're wearing a Spider-Man shirt.
And then number 4 would be the Green Lantern. That'd be mine. I want.
Man, that movie's gonna suck.
Yeah,
it's
the
gonna
movie's
be
totally
great.
gonna suck.
I want to see it, and just go.
Even if it's well directed, Ryan Reynolds in that costume.
Anybody else favorite superhero?
Spider Jerusalem, Transmetropolitan.
All right.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, Spider-Man.
By Jesse Custer from Preacher.
Spider-Man definitely was, I can't get over that, but I mean, as a teenager, I really
My turn! Rom, that's it. Next phone call.
Wait, I want to hear Brett.
Space Knight. That's not my username. Anyway, Brett, I'm pretty sure you're going to be on the podcast.
He's going to ask me what my favorite comic
by
hero
the
is.
site, you have gone to a 3DS event recently.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering, you probably already answered this, but if you have, just answer it again and answer it better.
No.
Is the 3D on the 3DS, is it popping out of the screen like movie stuff, or is it stupid 3D TVs where it's just kind of going into the screen? No. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
If you do, that'd be wonderful if you could answer my question.
No.
Love you guys. Mwah.
No.
Bye.
No.
He gave us a kiss.
Go back to your favorite comic. I didn't mean to interrupt. I was making a joke.
My favorite comic is that the 3DS is more depth than popping out.
Oh my god, I'm so bored.
So come on, as a teenager, what superhero did you?
I was responding to his question.
All right.
As a teenager, I was really into Iron Man, legitimately into. I liked the comics. I liked all the suits. I was very much into him, and then I was very excited when that first movie came out, and I thought Iron Man 2 wasn't very good. But the first one, I was so excited that there's an Iron Man fucking movie, and it's huge and popular. This is ridiculous. But then when I got out of comics and then got back in again, I really like Daredevil.
Yeah, Daredevil can be really cool.
It sucks right now because of Shadowland. It's terrible again. But from 2002 to 2010, I read Daredevil every month, and it was fucking phenomenal. Every issue.
Yep.
Bendis's run.
Is there a collection that brings it together?
It's like
many collections.
There's many collections. It's like
but
it's like about 80, 90 issues.
It's about an 8-year run between when Brian Michael Bendis came. When Brian Michael Bendis came on, he started the Out storyline, but
it's usually by storyline. So is there a storyline that people can buy?
It's all one serialized, ongoing storyline. I mean, it really is. They all kind of keep building on themselves.
Out is a good one to start with.
Yeah, that's a good one to start
really
with.
Begins.
You can find it on Amazon right now. It's just called Out. And then just go from there on. It's also fucking great.
I think the Daredevil run also really did well because it was outside of Marvel continuity.
A little bit.
Crossovers didn't fuck with it.
Yeah, it occasionally would acknowledge Spider-Man is in an issue, but he doesn't do anything that breaks Daredevil's universe. Where Spider-Man with his increased strength and crazy powers could solve this problem immediately because he could throw a car at this guy and it'd be over. But instead, they really ground Daredevil and they really made him stand out. What Frank Miller did for him in the 80s, I think they did it again in the 2000s. I thought it was fucking great. And Bendis' run, and then Brubaker right after that. Fucking great. Sorry I answered somebody's question.
We are done. We are out.
Any new updates?
Give us all the new updates right now. Because
it has the same gyro sensor and accelerometer as PlayStation Move. They're still calling it NGP for Next Generation Portable.
That'll probably change.
Do they just not think PSP2 is a cool name or not?
They're hoping that PlayStation Suite on phones, Android, will stimulate users into getting an actual NGP for the full-on experience. Probably won't happen.
What a weird selling point. You know that Android you got? Would you want to buy another one?
That was an honest initial reaction.
Yeah.
I do have to give them credit, though. It was only, going by Kotaku's count, it was only about 23 minutes between the start. No, between the start of the show and when they finally unveiled the thing.
Yeah,
so that's got to be a new record for Sony. Usually they go about 40 minutes.
I'm curious
before they get to the meat of anything.
I'm hopeful at this event later they're going to start talking about Last Guardian. I want to hear them. Maybe they'll say a release date for it. That was the rumor going around.
You'll have to wait till next podcast.
Well, the Japanese release date's October 7th.
Was that official though? I thought it was. See, that was official. If it is, I think if it's October 7th, it could actually come out in America this year.
That's true. Yeah. There's not a lot of text to translate. It's emotions, man. They're universal.
Yep.
Indeed.
Don't look fucking disgusted at me.
I just want to end this.
It's only 11 o'clock.
I want to get some fucking pizza.
Yep.
We got 50 minutes left. We got to pack this shit up and run. This is going to be a PlayStation centric remix. Who cares? Good for their phone, right?
Yeah.
NGP.
Thing.